You're where? You're in Uganda. And so what did I say? I said I'm relaxed. And so guess what? I went down for breakfast and I walked calmly into this hall. You should have seen me. Joshua was here, and Joshua saw me in a t-shirt, in a very casual outfit at the I walked in slippers because I said, where am I? Where am I? I'm in Uganda. And so everyone is very peaceful. Excuse me, our first guest was here at 8:30 in the morning. Do you mind standing? Just wave at, look at somebody who is purposeful. Have a seat, have a seat. And I learned that, you know what? I am where? I'm in Uganda, and here I'm finding people who are what? Purposeful. And the thing about that, it means that there is hunger. There's a hunger for knowledge. There's a hunger to learn, to grow, to understand. And it's not a joke. We are relaxed, but no, we are also hungry to be able to grow. Isn't that what we are here for? I'm so excited because you are not alone. I'm looking online here, and we're heading towards over 100 participants also online who aren't going to be able to make it here. And so that means there is a hunger. And that's why we're in this place, because we're going to come and learn. And the problem that we have, if you are listening to many of the stories that were up on the screen a couple of minutes ago, is that many of these principles have never been taught in our school system. How many of you were in school and you learned how to do a proper budget? Did you? Hey, when you were in school, did they teach you about things called treasury bills and bonds? Did you go through a class? Okay, no. In primary school you went. Secondary school, you learned there was something like that. Good. What did you learn about bills and bonds? Did you actually buy after you left secondary school? So what did they teach you for? Theory. And this is the issue that we have around this learning, is that many of the things that we are practicing, many of the things that we are learning are theoretical. It's for someone else. It does not apply to my life. In fact, I have struggled with this. It's so funny because you find accountants, and I won't ask any of them to wave at me in the hall here, or anyone who's online. You find accountants who are busy managing money for someone else, and then you ask them, where is your issue? Where is yours? Who is managing yours? And you struggle in that same space. And so here now what we're saying as Centonomy is we're coming to say it is about you. What are you doing? What action are you taking? What are you implementing in your life that is going to change? And so I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, if you're in this room and you can, get up on your feet, because we're going to take action today. If you can, please stand, if you don't mind, for a second. And I want you to look for two people around you. And I would like you to ask them this question, if you don't mind. What is your net worth? Please just ask them that question. How much are you worth? For those who are online, if you are so inclined, you can be able to write it down. Okay. I can tell by the smiles and the lack of speaking that we are uncomfortable. Watch this for 1 second. 1 second, please. I know I put you on the spot. Why are we uncomfortable with that? Because many times we associate our self-worth with our net worth. And I assure you those are not the same thing. Because where you are right now is not where you will be in 10 years from now. But the actions and the positions that you're going to take today are the ones that are going to get you there. So it's not about where you are, but it's about where you're heading. So I'm going to make it a bit easier for you. For those who are in the room, just give me 1 second. Let me talk to my online friends. And then don't sit down. And then I'm coming back to you in just a second. Those who are online, if you don't mind, in the chat box, please, if you can just write down where you are, literally. Tell us where you are logging in from, and just wave and say hi to everybody else. Those who are in the room now, here's an easier question there. Flavia is in Lusaka. Mpuga is in Kikumbe district. Lira. Kianja. Excellent. Joanne is in Dubai. Excellent. Sheila is in Entebbe. Downtown Kampala, Sharon. Excellent. Good. Wonderful. Was that an easier question to answer? Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. So I want to hear some of the investments. Not yours, what you had. What did you hear? Unit trust somewhere. Okay, which unit trust? Unit trust is an umbrella term. Unit trust does not mean anything to me. We're going to learn more about that. So which unit trust? Is it a money market fund? Is it an equity fund? Is it a balanced fund? Which kind of fund
Recording in
is it?
progress.
So, okay, good. Now I had a money market. Now those are things I understand. What other investments did we hear on this side? Just shout out. If I'm in a no, please, Flavia. We are going to have a discussion. Did you say children as an investment? Excuse me. But I'm not surprised. In a group of Africans, when we say land, the next thing that you're going to say is what? Children. And because we have a few Africans that cross the border from Kenya into Uganda and from Uganda into Kenya, you know those our brothers and sisters who cross borders, they don't cross alone. What do they bring along with them as they're going? Which cattle. Thank you so much. That's another. Which other investments have we heard about here? So that we can hear. Sorry? Real estate, yes. Real estate, which is land, buildings, and the like. What else? Bonds. Government bonds. Good. We're going to talk about that in just a couple of minutes. What else have we heard about? Insurance and some of the policy products that they have. Because it's not just the protection, you're also talking about growth over time. What else have we heard in this room? Business. Thank you so much. I had another one on this side. Okay. So we'll have a discussion about that. And I assure you this discussion is vital. Why? Because if you say education is an investment, there are some people who own a university degree here, correct? In fact, some have more than one in this room. Good, sell it to me. How much can I get it from you? Can I? Can you sell it to someone? So it is in the sense that it allows for growth, but you can have that piece of paper and no money. Do you hear what I'm saying? So when I talk about an investment, I'm looking for where you will get an actual return, although it is an investment. Any other investment that we've talked about here that you have not heard yet? A Mercedes. I will respond to the Mercedes question very shortly as we get along. But I want us to understand a couple of things. Our mission at Centonomy is to shift mindsets so that purposeful people like yourselves who woke up early on a Saturday morning, drove, parked in a weird corner of Kampala. Forgive us that we took you to a different corner than you're used to normally. You parked somewhere that you're not comfortable. You did something uncomfortable. That is a purposeful person. That you can be able to create wealth and to live abundantly. And as Centonomy, we have recognized that those two things are not the same thing. You can have wealth, but no abundant life. You can. And there are those people, hey, how many people, I'm sure, relatives, friends that you know have money, but no joy. Have money, but no relationships. Have money, but no one would fight for them. Now, do you want all the money in the world but no one to share it with? Does that sound like abundant? In fact, we had a story of a gentleman who had a piece of prime property in the middle of the city. prime property. And he was living in a shack because he wanted this property, but he could not unlock the wealth that the property gave him. Does that sound like an abundant life? I have millions in the bank account, millions, billions in assets, but I can't buy food. Does that sound like abundance? So here the idea is that we want to unlock the potential that you have. But it starts with you. Now, who are the people that we usually blame for our financial position? I think this is the most honest audience that I've ever spoken to in my life. What did we? Who did we say we blame? The government. Because, and I'm going to show you just now, they are corrupt. Okay, no problem. This sounds like, I told you I've been training in South Africa, I've been training in Nigeria. It's the same story. It seems like we have the same government across Africa. The government. Who else do we blame? Our parents. They could have done better. They could have. Well, while others were buying land, where were they? While others were, oh, it's their fault, eh? The government, our parents. Okay, who else? Who else do we blame for our financial woes? Sorry, who do you employ? They don't. Our employers don't pay us enough. They don't. Why don't they increase our salary every year? See, inflation is affecting our status. They should adjust for what? For inflation issues. Oh, okay, who else is to blame for our hey, oi. Now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to speak because I fall in that category. I don't know if you can see on my finger here, but someone here at the front, without pointing fingers or naming names, said my husband is the problem. Okay, can I make it more politically correct? Our relatives. Our relatives. Now, one of the things that changed my life, because I am a student of Centonomy. I was a student first before I became a teacher here. And in that class, I still remember, it was Washeke who was teaching, and she said, everybody, I want you to repeat after me, and you're going to do the same thing. And she said, say, it is my fault. Okay, let's try that again. My position, my financial stress, the lack of investments, the position that I have, my future, all these things, and you say it now with all the strength that you have, it's what? It's my fault. How do you feel? You feel bad. You feel guilty. But watch this. I told you this changed my life. Hey, all those who are online, please write down, type it out. It's my fault. Guess what? If it is the government's fault, my parents, my relatives, my spouse, my employer, then I can do absolutely nothing. I am powerless. But when she spoke that and she said it into her life, she said, it is my fault, therefore what? I can change it. You didn't get it. Let me try that one more time. If it is my fault, then it means I can change it. And if you can change it, and I have seen it in my own life, going from a point at which when I was in that class, I used to be just a simple tenant with barely any investment. And now, this is now what? That's over 13, that's now close to 13 years ago. I'm now a landlord, I'm the CEO of this company, and I have many investments that I've made. It is not because of the government. It is not your spouse. It is not your children. It's my fault. And therefore, I can change it. So we're going to say that it's my fault, and therefore, I can change it. Let's say it, and you can type that out. Let's go. It's my fault, and therefore, I can change it. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to learn not just from Centonomy, but from also various partners that we've had over time. I'm so excited to invite our first speaker for today. We have Rita Nakiganda. She's a personal finance trainer here in Uganda. She's going to come and share her experiences. I love what I just saw in the room. Books open, pens ready. Can we put our hands together for Rita as she comes to share her experiences here with us? Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for showing up. Hey, the energy of 8:30. Wow. We are hungry. The room is full. It shows we are embracing finances. So happy to be here with you. Yes, please. Oh, okay. So happy to be here with you, and it's such an honor to be sharing what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So, growing up in Uganda, I watched my mom, like many of you, juggle a lot of things. Business, motherhood, failed businesses, investing, failed loans, and everything. I witnessed the struggle she was going through. And I took in a lot of things through, first of all, observing and also being hands-on, because I usually helped her with her restaurant and also poultry business. So with observation in our household, a typical African household, my mom was intentional about her investing and savings, because I think along the way when she was juggling a lot of things, she realized she had to be part of an accountability community. So she went ahead and joined the village saving groups. You know, the Vivinas. I don't know who witnessed that. So growing up, I always saw my mom be part of saving chibinas. And in our household, Thursday afternoons was a non-negotiable. Like, do you know those meetings of Torahs at office? You have to be there. Whether in a what or what, you had to show up. So in our household, you don't bring any stories, please, on a Thursday afternoon of, mommy, now you have to come to school, manya what? No. She had to be somewhere in her meeting to track her money, to meet her friends, hold her accountable, and everything. So I grew up, it stuck in my mind, because how can someone of those years be committed to, I have to show up, I have to know what's going on with my money, I also have to invest, however small it is. So I vowed to myself that I had to move with that, whether what or what. Fast forward, we go to university, graduate, do a very good degree and everything, get into employment. You people, employment showed me the real employment. I got my share of financial struggles when I had just got into employment. You know that thing of, I got good grades, manya, I deserve a lot. Like with someone with my grades and also fresh from university, I have a lot of ideas. Like I should be getting a lot. Looked for jobs, I landed on one. I had, you can just pause it there. So I got into employment. I got my share of financial struggles. You people, life was hard. But I was not seeing it that way at first. So I used to use borders from home to work, because who uses a taxi when you're the engine, eh? So I used to use borders. I used to take lunch outs, because who eats office food? Like seriously, who does? It is not my liking. So border was taking the share of my income, my small income, and also takeouts and lunches. So it was taking a lot of my income, and I was like, you know what? I need to enjoy. I need to enjoy my life. I had a different color of a bag, white think what, because we all have that statement of the one we make before we make a bad money decision. Mine was, Nze Injini, I need to be happy first. Yeah? Before anyone else takes their share, I need to be happy first with what I'm getting. So we all have those statements of, tunakole ndala, orancha rancha, and everything. Tomorrow is for tomorrow. So I got into that, and every payday was overwhelming, was full of pain. I was always like, why is this relationship between my income and expense always in an ending wrangle? They are never agreeing. It was either the expenses winning the argument or the not balancing at all. So the relationship between my income and expenses was really, really not agreeing at all. There was always that pull, expenses struggling to be up there and income's trying, but it had a lot of things pulling it down. So moving forward, I sat down and I'm like, you know what, Rita, you are in this era of learned nothing, forgot nothing. Who remembers that quote? Learned nothing and forgot nothing, because growing up I used to see my mom struggle, but still she managed to save and invest. But here I am struggling, getting my money, but I can't put away anything. So I had to sit down with myself, have a talk, and you know what I told myself, you need to go back to the roots. What you grow up learning, observing, and hands-on, you have to start practicing it now. So that's how I got to change my mindset. I knew I had to work on what was up here for me to move forward. So that's how I got to So that's why I had to sit down and review myself. I had to change the mindset. You know, there are two types of mindsets. The scarcity of where there is nothing enough. I'm also going to always be struggling. I'm always going to be broke, like that scarcity mindset. And then there is also this abundance mindset. So I embraced that mindset. I knew I had to move forward, because I knew if I get stuck in this, I'm going to wake up 40 years later and I'm still in the same rat race. So before we move forward, I want us to crush the 3 Ps. Please help me crush them as well as we move forward. The first P is permanent. We always tend to think that everything we are going through is permanent. We were created for this struggle. It is not going to end. It is going to be like this throughout. We are always going to be struggling with our money, with our everything. The next P is pervasive. Like, we always tend to think that if my money relationship is struggling, everything else is struggling as well. We tend to ignore that there are good friends around us. We have a loving family. We have a lot of good things happening around us, that we concentrate on only one thing that is not happening. And you'll be like, this is not happening. I can't show up like this. I can't do this, because money is not money. So you also forget the rest. But we have to be pervasive, because everything else is falling in place at least. So we also have to eliminate this P of personal. Like, me as a person, I'm the one struggling. I'll never make it. I was born to be broke. I'm never going to save enough. I'm not going to invest in such big buildings and what. Like, we make it personal on us and attach it on our lives, that it also goes ahead and hinders us from exploring the growth mindset and abundance mindset. So that is also what we need to crush going forward. So I knew I did that. I had to change my mindset going forward because one of my biggest challenges was not saving. I sat down with my friends and family and told them, you know what, even if it's bringing 1K every week, let us do this. So we held each other's hands, we walked the journey together, and it was okay. Like, we were showing the strides, the small strides every day. We're adding up, unless we're not tracking, but that was working out. So fast forward, I lost my job. Thereafter, I became a mom. Like, those things can't be in the same equation. Like, you grew up watching your mom do a lot of things, but then you are a mom and you're unemployed. I sat down one evening and I looked at my 6-month daughter and I was like, what am I going to teach this girl? Like, a wave of responsibility hit me there and then, and I started running my mind. I started growing. I think that was the time I stumbled on Miss Caroline Motoko's video about finances and everyone. I started being hungry for growth, for something better for myself. That's when I landed on Centonomy. I subscribed, I put on the bell, like whichever was happening on that site, I was always there because I got the notification and everything. So I got intentional about everything that I was doing, about my money, tracking, and of course having a community of friends holding you accountable. Like, you know what, Rita, you've not showed up this week. What happened? So tukubanje mirundi eja. Bidi, please don't tell us stories. You know that meeting of Torahs at office, eh? Yes, they were mine now. I had created it for myself. So they were holding me accountable, holding each other accountable, and also being there for each other through the challenges and everything. So we had saved, by the time I lost my job, we had saved like 2M. So I had my 2M on me, looking at it, you know, holding on to something that you don't want to lose. You're like, this is my life. If I make any mistake with it, I'm gone. So I looked at my saving of 2M, and I'm like, in this Uganda, what can 2M do? I know I grew up watching my mom be an entrepreneur and everything, but my 2M, I want to bring things from China, Turkey, what? 2M. It was not my thing, so yes, so it was not my thing at all. With my mindset, I approached my baby sister, telling her, you know what, I know we have done businesses before that have failed, but give me a chance, Give me a chance, bet on me some money. And she was like, Rita, we always start things and they end on the way. I am not betting my money anymore with you. And I'm like, please, please. So she got on board. I managed to convince her, and she got on board. And we managed to save 4M, to come up with 4M. We sent it to China. It was all online. You know that era of you do the selection online and everything. We send money online still without seeing the Chinese. Oh yes, that look that you had, we sent money. I sent the money online without seeing the Chinese, without video calling, without anything in mind. I was that green. You know, you people, the next days I didn't eat because the Chinese ghosted me. Remember, we had betted our 4M. We didn't have anything. So the Chinese ghosted me for days. I kept on calling, they are not responding. Emails, company, like I was all over the place. And I remember family and my partners telling me, calm down, it is going to be fine. Calm down. But I know deep it down inside, they also knew that it's not well, like something is wrong. But days later, the Chinese reached out with a photo of my selection and everything and told me, "Hey Rita, send me the cargo address. Your things are ready. I'm sorry, we had a holiday. You know those unending holidays in China. We had a holiday that I didn't communicate about, but we are back in office now and your things are ready." You people, I jumped. I don't know how I landed down, but I jumped and I'm like, wow, this is so good. This, like, everyone around me knew that I had received good news. So fast forward, my dream was to import kids' clothes and shoes, which I do, and that's what we started. We started online, purely online, just handling it, me and my sister. You're on phone, you're on deliveries, you're jumping on a border, you're doing this and that. Fast forward, things have turned out very well. We have employees. With that, employees, we have branches. We have developed to things, to a business from 4 million to multi-millions. You people, in a space of 5 years, just the mindset is what it took us to start moving. So before joining, before even being intentional, our business was just the two of us. If we're not around, now I'm here, my part is not done. So the business will either be closed or anything. But now it's running. They're actually doing, I think, a TikTok live or something, but I'm here. That is growth. So I'm so happy that I took a bet on ourselves and we kept on moving. So going forward, I would advise you to sit down with yourselves. Just do a self-audit of either your finances, of what you want to do. Like, do an audit of your strength or weakness and get moving. After doing a talk with yourself, set those goals, plan. Say, Rita, I want to do this. Gloria, I want to do this and this. Set goals and start moving. Because if you set a SMART goal, basing on what you really want, you're going to keep going. So also another thing is, start now. Don't wait for a perfect period, because also if I had started way before, I think I would be far. But start now. I know starting takes a lot of energy. Starting now, they always say when an aeroplane is taking off, it takes a lot of fuel than when it is flying there. So when you're shooting for the sky, just start. It doesn't matter whether you're making big strides or small strides, just start. The momentum is going to come. When you're starting, you need persistence, consistency, and all the consistencies, you know. Yes, please equip yourself with all the consistencies that you know, persistence, consistency, and everything. You will be there. And most importantly, when you have started, track your expenses, track your progress, track your journey. Because me, I look at where we started from when I was jumping on borders. I even got an accident one time and I have a scar. So track. I look at those photos of me with a bag and everything, and I'm like, yo, we have come from far. So be intentional. Be intentional. It is all that it takes. And if you are intentional, you're going to do the 80%, because what you have now, what you're going to get from the Centonomy classes is 20%. But all our trainers tell us, it is you. You're here for the magic and what? No, you're the magic. You're going to do the work. You're going to track. You're going to write down your goals. You're going to build business models. Like, that is all you. Because they don't know what you want. But they're also here just to guide you along the way and hold you accountable. And what I love about Centonomy classes is the trainers are readily available for you. They share your contacts, their contacts, emails, and everything. Just say, I'm a Centonomy alumni, I was in your class, and I'm reaching out, I'm stuck here. I have just done my business model, but it's not adding up. Can you help me? They will. They will. Because when I took that step, our business had grown, but it had got stagnant. Then I decided to, you know what, I need to take the course. I started with the entrepreneurship, and I've seen very, very big changes in our business, to the extent that I can be here and business is moving, to the extent that we are opening up a branch like this year after me taking the Centonomy classes. So thank you so much. It has been an honor to be here with you, and thank you for having me.
Come on, can we give her another hand? It's not easy to stand here and to say personal stories like that. Now, I've been taking notes.
Oh,
What have you learned? Yes, you'll tell us.
Business name is Shea Kids Lounge. We sell quality products of kids and clothes from Turkey and China. Oh, I forgot something.
Say it.
Remember when I told you we were sending money online? We are going to China. And Turkey. So, yes, it is the growth that we have witnessed in our business.
Wow.
Yes.
So, if you're watching us online, please do. If you have a question, just put it into the chat box. I was just asking, what are the lessons? I have a full page of notes so far. It started with the issue around money. It's permanent, it is pervasive, and it is what? Personal. Did you hear? Hey, someone else was taking notes with me. After that, Rita taught us that you have to take a risk.
Yep.
So, it's not because you just like risk. Does anyone here just enjoy, there are those who are adrenaline junkies. You know those people who walk on the edge of buildings? Do you ever watch those videos on TikTok? Even you're scared. You're watching from the side like this. So I don't see any of those people in the room. But there is no growth without risk. It is a risk to even have gotten into your car and come here. But you're willing to take that risk because of the result that is coming up. Then she talked about that wave of responsibility. I joined the Centonomy class after I got married. Because I went home, and then suddenly it's not just me. There's someone else that I was responsible for. So I said, let me get my life in order. And you talked about doing a financial audit, and that this is the one that I wanted you guys to go home with. You are the magic. You are. So you're the one who's going to change. Any question here? I'm going to take it very quickly and then take the ones online. Anyone had a question for Rita from the experiences that she had? Your opportunity is going. It is going. Because of time, it is gone. Here's your question online. So, how do you manage? This is a question. How do you manage the online business while you're here? Who is doing that for you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So how I manage the online business, but fast forward, I'm not alone anymore, like I said. We have a team. So we have schedules of the team should be doing this at this time, and also doing a TikTok live or putting stories. We have a schedule that we follow. So my business is not anymore relying on me. It can run without me. I can go, come back, and business as normal, as usual, it is going on smoothly because of the systems we put and the people that we have.
Wow.
Yes.
Here's a question. What are you teaching your daughter now about money?
So my daughter, we always have money dates at home.
Wow.
We
Did
talk
you hear
about...
that? One more time. Say it again. They missed.
We always have money dates at home.
Okay.
We talk about how money came into existence, how do we use it, how do we gain it, and also how do we grow it. So she also gets days of where she can go to the shop. She always says, it is our customers that give us money here. So she knows money comes from the customers and we give them something in return. So it's an exchange. Wow. So that is what I'm being intentional about.
How many of you, when you were a child, had a money date with your parents? Did you? Do you see that we're already changing factors here? So this is something, this is an actionable point. So don't, please, this is not just a seminar for you to come and feel nice. We don't want you to feel nice today. We want you to take action. So if you have children, what is the action that you're going to take? Did you hear an action point there? Yeah. Money date. So we'll take that question very quickly.
Thank you so much. My name is Mary. How do you qualify your team members?
When we talk about human resource, it is another problem of its own. We have to have a full day of human resource. But we do the basics of we vet someone. Usually we get probation periods in formal employment, right? We also give probation periods of, we tell you what you have to do, how you should do it and everything. We watch you for a period of time and see if you will really manage or not manage. That's how we handle it.
Very good. Now the questions are coming.
Thank you, Rita. My name is Pius. I traveled from Mbara for this. So,
Yes.
personally, I'm struggling when it comes to finances. I run a few businesses here and there, but my challenge is on separating my personal finances and business finances. So, on your side, how do you handle that?
Okay.
You're not alone. You can see all the people who are waving at me, yes? I can see. You're not alone. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So that is a very big problem. Actually, let me not lie to you. Honestly, in the first few years, 2 years or 3 years, I was not separating. I was just having one big bag. When it's time to source, I source. When it's time to go out for brunch, it is the same bag that we use. So, but later on, I got to know that we need to separate and know, track. Is the business making any profit or not? There is no way you're going to know if it's making profit if it is one bag. So separate it. Even if it's having envelopes, right, Shia Kids Launch, this is Rita. This, like, separate the money. It will be easy for you.
Yeah. And in the class, we do, so at Centonomy, we have 2 programs that we run. We have Centonomy 101, and we also have Centonomy Entrepreneur. Now, the 101 class, everybody must take, because whether you are in business or you are employed, you manage your own money.
True.
And as you've heard here in this place, your money is not the same thing as your business money.
True.
So in that separation, you need to be able, as a business owner, to also invest and save, because you are not your business. Your business is separate from you. Your business should be an asset that is paying you. So even in the Centonomy 101 class, we have a bonus session for business owners so that you can be able to begin to see how does the business become an asset for you. And you'll take it further when you come into the Centonomy Entrepreneur program, because in that class now we learn about business strategies and building a legacy as you are able to grow. So there's opportunity across the board, and we'll assist you with that as we go. So we'll take the last question now. Thank you so much, Rita. Yes, understand your name and the question.
Good morning, Rita.
Good morning.
My name is Namata Musoke. I'd like to first say thank you for a very inspirational talk.
Oh, thank you.
You talked about poor money management habits earlier on.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know, what habits did you change or implement to better manage your money now?
Okay. That era of forgot nothing, learned nothing. So when I sat down and had a talk with myself, I drafted a budget depending on what was my income by then. I also developed a tracking template. Like, I need to know where my money is going because that tendency of being on payday and saying, oh, I had 100K here. Where did it vanish to? No, I tracked my money. I developed a budget and also track. I think those are the simple steps that we can start with.
Can we please give Rita a hand? Isn't that just simply amazing? And it's the small steps that get you to that point. Everyone wants a big investment. Suddenly I have 300 million to invest. It doesn't happen like that. Where did she start her investment journey, with how much? 4 million. No, it was not 4. 4 is because she joined with her sister. Where did she start? With only how much? 2 million, and now it is multi-million. That's the goal. So we start where we are. In the Centonomy class, you're going to be learning about that budgeting process. So we teach about tracking first, because when you know where your money is going, then you make choices. One of the things that you learn in the class is you don't know where your money is going. And we'll help you to figure that out even as we go forward. I'm so excited to invite our next speaker, because this is how Centonomy changes people, including myself. This gentleman called us and said, I am going to speak at your event. He demanded. He didn't even give us a choice. He said, I have learned, and therefore I am coming to do what? To tell people what I have learned. Can you put your hands together for Joshua Juna as he comes to share his experience from the Centonomy Club?
Thank you very much, Waithaka. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So my story is more glamorous than Rita's. So
I'm so sorry to do this, but it's because we are being overwhelmed at the back there. You know, there are some people who are backbenchers. They are comfortable at the back. Don't worry, I'm not going to move you. Don't be stressed, okay? But there are others who are like me, who feel very comfortable sitting next to the teacher. Are there those who are like me? Just wave at me if you are those close ones. So for those ones who are close, there's a chair. You will even sit next to Rita, to Flavia. They're here. Stand where you are. If those who are comfortable enough, I have a few more spaces here for you. Just come. We're almost full. If it becomes full, you'll come to where they have left them over here on this side. Okay? So just come for a second, please, and we'll be able to share. Sorry. Have a space there. Yes. Move. You can come this way. Yeah, sure. No problem. Thank you. Backbenchers, don't worry. I will not I know you're comfortable where you are. But these ones are my friends. These ones are comfortable next to the teacher. Excellent. Have we filled up? There's a few more. In case you are still interested, there's a few more. I think we are okay now. Well done. Yes, there's still more. Welcome. There's still more. Even this one here, this is yours. Okay? Excellent. Joshua, sorry, this is yours, right? So I can place this here. This is yours now. Welcome. All right. Are we comfortable now? Everyone is okay? Oh, wonderful. Another hand for Joshua as he's speaking.
thank you. Yeah, so as Waithaka has said, I did Centonomy some years back. And if there is any doubting Thomas there, please get on your phones, go to Facebook, go to the Centonomy page. Okay? Go to their albums, look for the graduation that happened, I think it was season 17. Yes, Centonomy 101, season 17 graduation. Look for photo number 37. Yes, that was me. Do I need to repeat? Go to the Centonomy page on Facebook. Go to the albums, not the photos, because there's so many photos. Look for an album that is labeled Centonomy 101, Season 17 Graduation. It was posted on 30th August 2016. Yes. And look for photo number 37. Photo number 37. That was me. And I can see most of you were the size I was back then in 2016. So it means most of you are the age when I did Centonomy. So to give you context, that was 9 years back, right? Yeah, if you have to do simple mathematics, that was 9 years back. So I've been given 15 minutes to tell a story of 9 years. It's a bit unfair, but I will kind of try to summarize it. So how did I end up doing Centonomy? At the age of 25, and that's why I say my story is glamorous, not like Rita's, my employer transferred me to Nairobi. So I got a promotion and was relocated to Nairobi. Yeah, so that's how I ended up doing Centonomy. For those of you who have not worked outside Uganda, Uganda is the best place you can ever be in. That I'm talking as someone who has worked in 12 countries in Africa. Yes, Uganda is the best place you can ever be in. Take it from me. So at that point, you don't have a social life. You can imagine you're in a new country, you don't know anyone, you don't have a social life. So what do? So you watch TV. Yeah, so I was watching TV, And like Rita's story, I got to learn of Centonomy through Caroline Motoko. It was that advert that popped up on YouTube, and it was for Centonomy. It so happens that they were having an open day, I think, the next month, and it was at the church that I attend, and that's All Saints Cathedral, Nairobi. So it was very easy. I know the place. I went, and I'm idle. It's Saturday. What am I doing? Yeah. I heard of what they were talking about, and it made a lot of sense. And for you to understand why it made sense, I'll give you a background of my story as we grew up. So we grew up in not so comfortable conditions, but I saw what money does, because we grew up around rich people. And I aspired to be rich. I saw their life, and I said, this is what I want. And I had that desire from childhood. To the extent that in high school, I went and did commerce. I got a distinction. So I loved money so much. Just that I didn't know, how do I go about this money business? I went ahead to do economics in HSC. I got, it's an aggregate A at the time. That was back in 2018, yeah, when I was in HSC. So I was good at money. I mean, I was good at conversations around money. So when I heard of Centonomy, it pulled me because I loved discussing about money. Because in economics, they would teach you about things like GDP. They would teach you about why GDP figures do not translate the quality of living. Yeah? And it was so nice that I got drawn into it. But this time around, I was not learning economics for the country. I was learning my own economics. Okay. When I went there, I found they also had a session around Centonomy Career Hub. So I signed up for 2 sessions, actually. So I did 101, which is personal finance, and Career Hub. Why Career Hub? I had just relocated to a new country, and it was because of the career that I had relocated. So I needed to understand, how do I push my career forward? Remember, this was my first time in Nairobi, and corporate Nairobi. Now, guys, things there are different. These guys rush. It's like they're running to or someone is chasing them. If you ever go in the streets of Nairobi, it's like someone is chasing people. You would think the police is chasing them, unlike our own streets. So I needed to understand, how do I model myself to survive in this environment, because it is tough. Those guys are not polite. Sorry, Waithaka. They are not polite, most of them, at least, yeah? It's cutthroat. So you can't go with your Ugandan niceness and survive. No, you cannot. So I needed a course that will teach me the dynamics of corporate Nairobi. And I got one, imagine, by just a YouTube advert. So I did those 2 courses simultaneously. And here are the things that I have done over the 9 years, both in my personal finances and in my career, that have really, really helped. So of course, they've talked about expense tracking. I will not talk about that. That class used to be taught by Washeke, and I never used to track the expenses, but I used to know, okay, maybe half of my salary goes here and half of my, you have it in your head, but the moment you put it down, you get shocked. So for the last 9 years, from August 2016, I have an app where I can show you where all my money has been going for the last 9 years. Yes. Yeah. So what that helps is that every beginning of the year, as people are doing New Year's resolution, I'm doing a budget for the year. So based on the expenses I've tracked last year, I'm able to assess, where did I lose money? Where did I need to spend more money? I'm able to direct my money to the things that are important to me. Okay? So I'm able to see, okay, here, there's a lot of money going into relatives. Then you cap it. There's a lot of money going into food and leisure items. You cap it. You don't cut it, you cap it. Yeah? So then that discipline has evolved over the 9 years, that if I've said I'm going to spend 1 million on leisure the entire year, we hit that mark, at home they know. It's done. So you want to spend the 1 million just in 1 month? Well and good, spend it. But that is it for the year, yeah? So it has helped shape and also guide me to direct my money, to go to the things that are important to me. That's on expense tracking. And the other thing is on managing debt. managing debt, I got to learn. Did you know that you can actually close off your loan even if it's midway? I didn't know that in 2016. You guys are lucky. In 2016, how many of you knew that? Yes, now you have a lot of information. And by the way, 2016, the internet was not that popular, especially in Uganda. So we are going back to Stone Age. So don't look at it in the context of now. Look at it in the context of 2016. So at the time, I had taken a loan to buy land in Chira. And when I'm talking about Chira, I'm not talking about the one close here. I'm talking about the one after Blindo, inside. Not the one close here, because that one, I couldn't afford it. So I'd taken a loan, and in Centonomy, they told us, you can pay off that loan and save money that you'd have paid in interest. I was like, yeah, it's possible. I went and closed it the very next week. So I ended up saving on the interest I would have, because it was halfway. Yeah, I ended up saving on the interest. And on debt, they taught us, do you know it's possible you don't have to borrow from banks and financial institutions? We can borrow from each other. You can borrow from your friends. I think Rita has talked about it. The problem is we're not trustworthy. That's the problem we have. Yeah? So after that loan, I never took another loan. I started whatever development I wanted to do. I'll talk to my friends. I'll talk to my parents. Give me 10 million. Here I have another 5 million. I want to build a house. Which parent would refuse? None would refuse. Yeah? The problem is our character is not worth lending to. We borrow, we don't return. The energy with which we borrow is not the same energy with which we return. We borrow and forget we borrowed. Yeah? So that's where we are disadvantaged. But imagine how many of us have some 100K lying there, and if we lent it to each other, we do not even have to pay interest. So 2017, that's after taking Centonomy in 2016, I started building my house I live in, and I didn't use a single cent of the bank. So I would borrow from my friends, borrow from my parents, and I tell them, you know what, because now I had learned in Centonomy, this is how I will pay you. Every month, I'll give you this much. If the person is okay with it, and I make sure, if I've said I'm going to pay on the 30th, I pay on the 28th, not on the 30th. And no excuses at all. Yeah? So it helped a lot from Centonomy, learning that I don't need to go to a bank to borrow. Up to this day, for the last 9 years, I have not gone to a bank to borrow. I have developed a character that is worth being lent to by friends, by family. So that's something you can also adopt. The other thing that helped a lot is learning about the loan amortization schedule. So now I'm also a financial consultant for my friends. So when they go to the bank, they're trying to get loans, I'm like, ask that account manager or the relationship manager to give you the amortization schedule. Like, what's an amortization? You tell them that. And then the relationship manager, so what do you want with an amortization schedule? So they sound so experienced. And then they refer me to their friends. They're like, so look at the amortization schedule, do the mathematics. How much are you going to pay in interest? So when they get to see how much they're going to pay in interest, they're like, no, the loan is not worth it. Yeah? So whatever they were going to do, say if I borrowed this money, I would end up paying more in interest. And it's not worth what I'm going to do. So it has helped me also become a financial expert to my friends. So I'm a very clever financial expert to my friends. Not to many people. Because we sit down and do these mathematics that Centonomy helped us do. The other thing I learned is once you've done saving, then what? So you've saved the money. What? Because saving is hard, but you can't just save alone. So we went into investments. So we had, there is a tracker that will give you, but there's also a template that will give you on how you can do your net worth. Now, me, I used to think back in 2016, net worth is for rich people. I didn't think like I have net worth. Yeah, I thought it's for rich people. They're the ones who have net worth. So when they sent over that template, I put in the things. And I realized, okay, I have some money. Okay, it's not much, but I'm worth something. Yeah, like it was small money. So what have I done over the 9 years is to grow that net worth based on now the lessons I've learned from Centonomy. In that net worth calculation, or in that template, you will be shown, you'll be able to see if I lost my income, for how many months can I survive? Yeah, based on your net worth. So at the time I did that, I think I was in negative, so I could not survive at all because my expenses were higher than the income. As of today, because I still use that template right now, because this is a template I got from Centonomy in 2016. It's an Excel, yeah, where I put my budget, and you're able to see your net worth, and it's called a personal balance sheet template, yeah, so that I don't show the numbers. It looks like this, yeah, yeah. But if you look at the survival months, Waithaka, you can read for them down there on the survival months.
33.
Yes.
33 months.
33 months. So if I lost my salary today, I would live the same life I'm living for 33 months. But that has been for 9 years. Eh? It's not something that happened today, no. And it was intentional. Because you're looking at, is my money going where I want it to go? Which lifestyle do I want? How am I going to afford it? So for 33 months, as of today, I can live comfortably if I lost my job. So if what happened to Rita happens to me, I would not panic. And that's because of Centonomy. But it's been a 9-year journey. Okay, and then within the entire ecosystem of net worth, you're taught about non-financial assets. So we only look at assets as financial. But there's non-financial assets. And there's also non-financial liabilities. In Uganda, because I've been to both countries, our biggest liability is not keeping time. Yes, non-financial liability in Uganda, as Ugandans, not keeping time, number one. Number two, dishonesty. That's a very big liability we have in Uganda. Yeah? So at the time, I had to sit down and introspect. What do I have working for me? What do I have working against me? Just getting yourself to a meeting and having a genuine conversation with yourself. So think about what it is. So you don't have the money to start. What do you have that can get you the money? Are you trustworthy? Okay. Are you good at speaking? So I can bring you the money. Okay. For me, when I did the Career Hub course, we were told to be entrepreneurs. So you're an entrepreneur within someone else's business. Now, this idea of this is not my father's company should stop in Uganda. Because if your father had a company, you wouldn't be here. Yes. If your father had a company, you wouldn't be working. So the idea of this is not my father's company should stop. So I chose to take a mindset of how do I grow this organization? How do I contribute to the growth of this organization? Because in turn, and that's what we're told in the Career Hub, if they don't recognize you, someone will from the outside. They will see what you're doing, and they will come and pay you almost 3 times. Okay? So with that mindset, what did I do? I went to work and started working like I'm working for myself. Like this company, I own it. So I was transferred at an officer level. So 6 months after the Career Hub, taken into leadership. Now that was for Kenya only. And then about 8 months later, because of the tricks we were taught in Career Hub, taken into group leadership. Yes. So as of today, I look after 12 countries in Africa. And I'm a Ugandan. Yeah? So this mentality other countries, especially Kenya, has that Ugandans are lazy is wrong, because I'm a testimony. Yes. Yeah? We are not lazy. We are just not motivated to work. Have you ever seen Ugandans on a party? Do you know how hard we work when we are doing a party? And we're not being paid, imagine. And we work so hard. Yeah? So it's the wrong motivation. Yeah? Give us food at work and we shall work hard. Yeah? That's on the right note. Okay. The other thing we're told, have a plan for your life. Let the money follow. If money was not the restriction, what would you do? If you had endless amounts of money, what would you do? When you take that approach, it helps you direct your money. So when you have a plan, and that's why for us, we do budgeting at home. At 25, I didn't even have a girlfriend. I didn't have a wife. I wasn't seeing someone who was not seeing me. So I was alone. So it helped me, gave me a head start. When it came time for choosing a partner, the lessons I learned from Centonomy helped me choose the kind of partner I'm going to spend my rest of my life with, because that's also a very important decision. So On dates, we are not talking about, oh, you look good. No. So what do you think about the economy? Yes. Yes. You know why? Because when that dopamine fades out, you remain with reality. So we're talking about, so how are you tracking expenses? Yeah? So at that time, because I got a head start, had I started Centonomy maybe when I was 28, I would not be where I am. Had I not done Centonomy, maybe the growth would have been linear. Because of Centonomy, the growth was exponential. Yeah? So that was the power of Centonomy in my life. Let me go to a few lessons I learned in Career Hub. Because then that shaped. Because for me, career is the only way I make money at the time. That was how I was making money at the time. So how do I increase my salary? You can't just go to the employer and tell them, increase my salary. Based on what? Yeah? So we were told, aspire to make a difference. And Rita is an entrepreneur, she can tell you, if you got an employee who came and gave you ideas that made sales, would you refuse to increase their salary? No. So what's stopping you? What's stopping you treating that business like it's your own? Giving it what you would if it was your business. So we're told, make a difference. Aspire to be the red car. If you want to know the red car theory, sign up for Centonomy. I will not tell you what the red car theory is. Yeah? The world is not fair. It will never be, and no one owes you anything. The moment you learn that, you come to peace with it. So if they promote someone over you, you don't start, quarreling. Another habit I saw that we used to have back then is holding back work because of the pay. Because you think you're working for the organization. So you put in minimal effort. These days it's called quiet quitting. So you decide, I will do the bare minimum. 5 years down the road, you're still on bare minimum. Bare minimum salary, bare minimum partner, bare minimum children, bare minimum everything. Yeah? So that's how it translates. Within also the Career Hub, there's a question we're asked. What are you without your job, without your partner, without the titles you have in life, without your children? Does that make you less of a human being just because you don't have a partner? Does it make you less of a human being because you don't have children? Does it make less you of a human being because you don't have a degree? So if all those things were taken away, what are you without those things? So we're told, find an identity that speaks to that person without all these other things. Because these things can end up causing you frustration. They can also put your finances at compromise. When you lose a partner, that is a very big blow. Okay, maybe they've died. That one is not easy. But imagine they dump you. So what happens? You're dumped and your finances are compromised. So I adopted an identity. So for me, most of the places I go to, when I'm introducing myself, I am a problem solver. And I use technology to solve problems. So that's who I am. So despite whatever is happening in my life, that identity will never change. Do you have a problem you're facing? Come, I will use technology to solve it. That's how Career Hub really helped me. That shaped, because that's the identity I've had for the last 9 years. And that will never change. Because then I was single, right now I have 2 children. That has not changed. Yeah? And always looking for opportunities. They taught us also personal branding. That was Mwenesi. And personal branding is also how you make people feel. When people live here, how many and what will they say about you? Yeah? You know, and for me, I'm more into making career growth. Entrepreneurship, that's not my cup of tea, in all honesty. I'm more into entrepreneurship. And I'm good at it because already there are resources that have already been availed. I don't have to struggle looking for resources. There are platforms, there are connections, there are networks. All I have to do, someone has already done the heavy lifting for me. What's so hard about going and running with that mantle that the person has given me? So personal branding is very important. Yeah? You need to know who is your target audience. What do you want them to say about you? For me, when we went to the personal branding lesson, what I took out was timekeeping. I want to be known for timekeeping. And as Waidaka has told you, I was here by 8:30. I was told, make sure you're here by 8:30. By 8:15, I was here. I have lost friends because you can't keep time. That one, I was deliberate. Because what happens then is that if you don't keep time, there's someone else I'm going to disappoint. But my brand is keeping time. Yeah? So even at work, it has helped shape the brand I'm known for. If you go to our workplace and ask about Joshua, the first thing that will come out is timekeeping. That guy, if he gives you a meeting for 8, please be there at 8. Meeting is starting at 8, because you tell people in Uganda, let's meet at 8. 8 is when they're leaving the house. And they're hoping to get there by 8:05. Yeah? And the person stays in Chira. But you're supposed to meet them in town at 8. They expect to be in town by 8. So that was the brand I wanted. I also wanted to be known as the person of my word. The trick I've used over the 9 years is I under-promise, over-deliver. Because that helps manage expectations. Under-promise, over-deliver. If I've told you I'm going to deliver on Thursday, I'll deliver on Wednesday, and more than what you expected. That's the brand I have built over time. And that brand, you will see how it has come to help me after COVID. So as I close, after COVID, we got locked in, we were very scared about losing our jobs. COVID phoned me here in Uganda. So I worked through 2020 here in Uganda, and all the time before then, I was solely based in Nairobi. So when COVID hit, it occurred to me, see, I can do this work while still here. I can maintain the same job, still do it from Uganda. So I went to my boss, told him, you know what, I want to work from my house. I'll come to Nairobi only when it needs to be physical, like it's a must, you have to be physically there. So today, from 2020, this is 2025, it's coming to 5 years. I work from my bedroom in Chira. Bedroom. So I work from my bedroom, and when now there is a project that needs to be done, that's when I go to Nairobi. So there's no need for me to be stuck physically. So the physical boundaries were removed. So because of the brand I had built from 2016, so 2016 up to 2020, we had to shape a brand that someone knows, just because I don't see you doesn't mean you don't work. They know that this guy, he will deliver. So it was very easy to negotiate. So I didn't lose the job. I didn't lose the role I had, because it's still a group role. I didn't lose the salary. In fact, what happened was, because when you convert Kenya shillings to Uganda shillings, the rate is good. It's just that COVID hit it. At the time, I remember in 2017, 2016, we were exchanging at about 37. Yeah, so whatever cash shillings you get, you exchange at 30. That was good money. But then COVID came, now we're at 28. But it was very easy to have that discussion. It was very easy for people to trust that you will work and deliver, and still deliver the same quality because of the brand. That's the power of a brand. So you need to define what your brand is. So thank you very much. Back to you.
Hello. I couldn't stop that. He has spoken on my behalf. Questions, quickly. Questions, yes. Your name and...
Hi, everyone. My name is Fiona. I'm not asking a question, sir. I'm just really appreciating that I have come, and I think for the first time, I've had an experience where, those conferences you go to, and they make you feel like if you're not an entrepreneur, man, you're not doing anything. And I'm glad Joshua has stricken a balance and saying, even if you're doing career, you can really do it. And I have no doubt that, he's leading over 10 countries in Africa. And I have no doubt that we have been taught about this thing of the multiplier effect. And I'm thinking, as a leader, imagine the people under him. I think he has been able to multiply himself in all those people. Then lastly, if you may, I came in when Rita was finishing, but I wanted to ask something. Do we have any born-again believers here? I've had sessions where, praise the Lord. I've had sessions where I've engaged with a few friends about finance, and they will rely on scripture. God is supplying in abundance. But they really don't see the need of doing things like budgeting. I don't know, Rita, would you like to speak into that?
Sure, yeah. And I'm sure you can also speak to that as well. Joshua.
Yes, thank you so much. I believe we can all have whatever we believe in, but the most important thing is believing that it starts with you. If you don't decide, you will read all the Bible verses, but if you don't decide to do it yourself, it will not work. Yes.
One of the things you'll be taught in Centonomy in the very first class is mindset. Sign up for Centonomy, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Can I also respond to that? Because you brought it up, I don't usually bring it up. I am a born-again believer. And if you read Matthew 25, the Bible says about the parable of the talents. He said the master left, and he gave his servants talents. And he said he was coming back to take an account. That means that there's going to become a day that you have a responsibility for what God has given you. So it's not just simply saying, oh, I have been blessed. Yes, so that you bless others. Your question, please. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Immaculate. I'm a born again. I was just trying to highlight on that point. In Proverbs, the Bible tells us that wisdom is a principal thing, that we should get knowledge. Sometimes the born again, some people exaggerate the scriptures or they interpret them differently. You cannot say, God, yes, the Bible says that Jehovah Jireh is the one who provides for us, but he gives us knowledge and understanding so that we can do work and achieve. Because even the Bible, the same Bible that talks about money being the root cause of evil is the same Bible that also says money can help you get most things. So we should, as born again, we should not make the scripture let us do what will just let us down. Let's interpret the scripture in the right way, because God also says he adds for those who, the ones who have, they will add for them. The ones who don't have, even the little that you have, to be taken away from you. Don't use the scripture badly. Money is needed.
I feel like we're going to church right now, but it's okay. I think in our spiritual environments, we also need to be having financial discussions. Question and answer.
Actually, I don't have a question. I was going to answer to the scripture, but she's done the biggest part. I've done Centonomy. Yes, and it's very good. You must. One-on-one and entrepreneurship. But with entrepreneurship, I got to know I was running a hair business and I was playing. So I shut it down and something better transpired. When it comes to scripture, Luke tells you, in the book of Luke, who is going to build a house and doesn't plan? Who wants to be wealthy and doesn't plan?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not planning, you're still planning to be poor.
Yeah.
So choose the plan.
Very serious. Last question, and then I'm going to try and get some on. She had her hand up earlier on. Then I want to get some questions.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I just have a question. A young lady, recently from campus. I've been working for around 2 years, yeah? So I have saved up money. I have a business idea that I want to go into. So my question is, I also have a job. I'm working somewhere. But the thing is, for me to start up my own business, it means I need to leave my job because I need to give it my time. And I work from Monday to Saturday. So I did advise, should I quit? Because at least I'm sure every month I have salary. If I'm starting up my business, it's not a guarantee that every month I'm going to be receiving this very amount of money that I've been receiving at the job where I'm working. So what should I do?
I have an answer for that.
Thank you.
And in fact, during the Career Hub, we had this discussion like that. If you're to do an audit of your entire day, what time do you sleep? 10, right? What time do you wake up? 6 or 5? 6. Is it a must wake up at 6? Yeah? Can you wake up at 5? Can you wake up at 4? Can I shock you? After Career Hub, I used to be in office at 6 a.m. Because what would that give me? A head start. So as people are coming to office at 8 and doing, the office gossip, then we go to take tea. By the time they sit down at 9, I've had a head start of about 3 hours. So you have 24 hours like any other person in this world. Do an audit of that time. Then get that time, allocate it to the things that are important to you. Yeah? And at the end of the day, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Do not compromise your employer, because if they did the same thing to you, to your business. Now here's the thing that happens. You go cheat your employer, then they can also come and cheat in your bebusiness, and you start quarreling. You just being given a taste of your own medicine. Yeah.
I also believe in a response to that question, it's also not that simple. For everybody, it's going to be different. Because your timings are also different. Your expectations are different. Your contracts are different. There are conflicts of interest. And so it's not just a simple question that we can answer in a session like this, but we try and offer advice, and everyone is giving their advice from their experiences, and that's okay, but each one of us has to make certain decisions along the way. And what the Centonomy program actually allows you to do is to begin to make decisions as you step through and make your way towards your goals. Ladies and gentlemen, hasn't Joshua done an amazing job? Thank you so much, sir. Have a seat. This is now what we're talking about. He made a demand. He was not on the program. He wasn't. He demanded. We sat down, and he is now, in fact, our star speaker so far. Rita has done an amazing job. Flavia is going to do an amazing job. I think I'll try. Washeke will, but Joshua, because you came and said what has worked for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have been sitting for a long time. Stand. I want you to have a 2-minute discussion about the lessons you have just learned. 2 minutes only. The person next to you, explain to them what you have just learned. For those who are watching online, I want you to type the highlights, what you have learned so far. The highlights, I can see, financial stewardship is the thing. I like it. What else have I seen? After saving what? People actually don't talk about that much. Yes, we're about to do that just now. What are some of those lessons? They're coming up just now. Malvin. For sharing, yeah. Thank you. Okay, we have 1 more minute, 1 minute. Allow the other person to speak. You have 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a seat, have a seat, have a seat. Take your seats. Okay. I want to apologize to all the introverts in the room. Are you looking at me? I am sorry. What you don't understand, my introvert brothers and sisters, is that for us extroverts, we have to be quiet for half an hour as the speaker is talking. So every half an hour, we need 2 minutes to let out the energy that was in us, okay? Is that okay? You are enjoying for half an hour. Us, we are stressed, okay? Because we need that energy to come out. So bear with us. I'm trying to balance for everybody in the room. We are good. We are on the screen together. Ladies and gentlemen, the true transformation doesn't happen in a seminar like this. What a seminar like this does is it sets a fire. But a fire doesn't stay. Come on, we are Africans. We know what it's like when you start a fire. You have to do what? You must fan it into flame. And that takes time. You blow, you get something. And that happens in the class. And that's what we're getting to right now. And I want everyone to understand that that investment of time, not even so much money, but time is where you begin to see that shift. So that when you hear from 2016, that's almost 10 years, a 9-year journey is that's the transformation. So ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about moving from goals to gains. Because everyone at this time has a goal. Didn't you start New Year's resolution, isn't it? You said, I'm starting somewhere. I will come in a few minutes. We are starting somewhere. Good. Goals are good. But where will those goals be in the next few weeks, in the next few months? And it's the ones that we can be consistent with that are going to make a difference. Okay. So I'll have to move us. You help me. Are you using my presentation or the one that is there? Because I think I'm off. Yeah, I'm offline at the moment. So I can use this? All right, great. Good. So our mission, as I said, is to shift mindset so that purposeful people, when I look around this room, I see a purposeful person. Because everyone here made a choice to be in this room so that you can create wealth and live abundantly. All right? What is your definition of wealth? Shout out at me. What is your definition of wealth? Success, okay. Peace of mind, freedom, financial freedom. What is financial freedom? What is it? When I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. I like that. What else is wealth? Anyone else? Okay, good. So here's the thing. Here's one. When we talk about the abundant life, we want to make it more concrete for you. So can I give you one definition that we use? It's not the only one. There are many. But I want it to be one that challenges you over time. Just go to the next slide, please. So wealth is the ability to live the lifestyle that you want without having to work. Okay, that's a problem, isn't it? Please do not go anywhere and say at Centonomy they said you don't have to work. No. You must work very hard to get to the point where you don't have to work. And it's a really good measure for you to begin to think about it. So first of all, the ability to live the lifestyle that who wants? You. What do you want? What do you want? Do you know? Okay, what do you want? Tell me. You want to travel. Where? Where do you want to go? Now she has said a word that I understand. The Maldives. Before we spoke, you said travel. Guess what? You traveled from home to here. Is that what you want? Now, watch this. Now that she said Maldives, it means, can she walk there? Can she drive? What must she do? Fly. Now, is flying cheap? So what must she do? She needs to get the cash to do that. But before we said Maldives, there was no goal. So what she has said is, the lifestyle that I want, she has defined it. People want to live in a nice house, yes? Which one? Which house? In which suburb? In which area? And how much does it cost? And when do you want to move there? So is a nice house for you the same thing as a nice house for me? So define it. Because once you've defined it, it will force you to take the actions that Joshua was talking about. So if you please understand this. If you look at your salary and you look at that house and they are not equivalent, what must you do to your salary? Increase. So it's not just about the goal, because the goal forces you to take what? An action. That's what it does for you. So when you say, I want to travel to the Maldives, when you say, I want a specific house in this specific area and it costs this specific amount, now we are talking. That's where the difference is. But once you've set that goal, watch what happens now. This is where the difference actually comes up. Let's go to the next slide if you don't mind. Now we're going to challenge you. And this, please pay attention, and I want everyone to assist me with this if you don't mind. Good. I want you to imagine this calendar on the screen is your total income for the year, okay? Your 100% income. Now I want you to imagine that each month represents 10% of your income, okay? Now if each month represents 10% of your income, accountants in the room, what have I just given you? I've given you a raise, because 10 times 12 is 120. I've even given you 20% raise. I want to see where your money goes, okay? Joshua was saying in Nairobi, it's as if people are being chased. I don't know, have you been paying attention to the news? People are actually being chased. Let me just, anyway, let's not go in that direction. But I want us to show this. Good. When you, employees, when you receive your paycheck, somebody has taken their portion already. Who usually takes their portion first? Okay. URA, yes? Good. How much do they take? Minimum in this room, 30%, yes? Can you please just click next slide until we hit April? Again. So the government has taken theirs. After that, who takes money? NSSF. And what else? No, we are not getting there yet. So other statutory deductions, do they come close to 10%? Remove one more month. Good, your statutory deductions are done. Please move the next slide. There we go. Thank you. Good. After you have paid the government, because that is the government, where does your money go next? Where does your money go next? Rent, housing, good. On average, what do you think? Looking around the room, look at your neighbors, look at them. On average, what do you think your neighbors around here are percentage of income towards where you live? How much? 10? 10? 20? 30? Is 30 fair? Anyone arguing, or it's too little? It's too much. So some people are saying it's too little, too much. So let's even do 20 for housing. So please, next slide, and one more. Your landlord has taken. Good. Where next does your money go? And for those who have done 30, you know what I'm talking about here. Transport. Good. How much? 10. Remove one more, please. Good. After that, where next does your money go? To health. Oh, the Christians have come back. Tithe. Oh, I see. Where were you at the beginning? No, it's okay. At least there's something left. Praise the Lord. Good. Okay. Good. Remove one more. Thank you. We've given tithe. I'm a Christian too, but do we only give tithe? We also give. Oh, remove one more. Remove just for the Christians. Just remove one more. Good. After that, what next? After that, what next? Food. Okay, how much on food? Quickly. 10? No. You know, when you say 40%, it means you're like me. You have many children. But there are some single people in this room who 40% is too much. So is 20 fair? 30? No, the single ones are looking at me. Single people. So let's for their sake, let's do 20. But for those who know, they know the truth, yeah? 2 more, please. Just remove. In fact, just remove October, please. Just one click. Okay, stop there. Stop. We have not completed food. But we have finished your money. That's 100%. We have done 10 times 10 is 100%. So this is not your money you're about to spend. Please remove one more because we had not finished food. Now, let's talk about utilities. Somebody shouted at me. Electricity, water, garbage, security, internet, phone, not DSTV. DSTV is entertainment. No, it's entertainment. It's not utility. Can I do? No. There is free news you can watch. Free news, gas. Does anyone work for you in your house? The domestic manager. House manager. Good. And I hope you're paying the minimum wage. We are not paying the minimum wage. Okay. All those things together, how much? How much? Just remove it. Okay. Have you paid your relatives yet? Have you paid the bank yet? Have you paid school fees yet? You have not entertained yourself. You have not gone to the salon. You have not bought clothes. How are we living our lives? You are in a seminar about what? Somebody tell, what is this seminar all about? Financial management. Good. Nobody in this room shouted at me, saving. And if you did, I didn't hear you, they shouted louder than you. No one in this room shouted at me, investment. What are we saving? What are we investing? I have very short time. I need you to write this down quickly. Number one, as a principle, pay yourself first. You know, you remember people are looking for magic. There's no magic. If you pay everybody else first, the government, the church, the neighbors, the landlord, there's nothing left, the supermarket, the school. So in order for you to break out of that cycle, you do what? You pay yourself when? First. Now, to my Christian brother, don't worry, I'm not. For you, what that means is you pay your taxes, then you pay your tithe and offering, then who's the next person after that? You. Okay, are we together? So don't get lost. The principle is pay yourself when? First. How do you do that? Write this down. It means you must save and invest first. So when your money comes in, the same way that the government simply deducts, you must also deduct for who? For you. Now, what does that mean? When you've made such deductions along the way, suddenly other things start disappearing. And you start realizing, oh, if I am to pay myself first, can I afford to pay my landlord the same way? So for some people, guess what? You might have to move. You might. It means, therefore, that you might be spending more than you can afford. Now, listen. Our aim is not to make you shrink. Our aim is to get you to a realistic position from which you can grow. But so long as you're in a position where all the money is leaving you, you're enjoying life today until there's a shock, and then you can't make choices. And we want to protect you against shock. So you must do two things. You must save and you must invest. They are not the same thing. Saving is putting aside money where it is secure and where you can access it in an emergency. So there are certain investments that you're going to use that you can easily access, and the money is safe. There's not much risk. But you also must invest. Because, let me tell you, and this is the problem of the middle class here in Africa, and I'm looking at you. We do not take sufficient risk for the future. So we're playing it safe, but what it's doing is it's compromising our future. So we don't risk everything. We save where there's security, but we also must what? Invest where there's potential for growth. And we'll talk about that in terms of the breakdown. Are we together what paying ourselves first means? Good, right? Tip number 2. track your spending. Now, this one is easy. You can do it even before you get into the class, but in the class, it is a requirement. I want you for the next 30 days minimum to just simply write down where your money goes. It will shock you where it goes. One time, when we did it, my wife and I, we did this just after we got married, and we were shocked. Why? We were spending more on takeout food than our rent. It's crazy. But if you think about that lunch that you buy, Rita, isn't it? That lunch that you buy in the office every day, and then on Saturday and Sunday you go to CJ's, isn't it? And other places, and how much are you going to spend in such a place? And if you do that every week, and you add it up, for us, that's what it was. And he said, it's crazy. It was cheaper for us to hire a chef to come and cook for us in our house than to eat out like that. So we hired a guy. Hiring a chef saved us money. It sounds extravagant until you do what? The mathematics. So what choices are you going to make? So track your expenses, and we'll assist you with that as we go along the way. Tip number 3. Why? Because it reveals where your money is going. Tip number 3. Focus on assets. Now, you'll assist me on the slides. Go to slide 16, because I don't have time. Slide 16, please. You'll see asset and flosset written on that. The tip number 3 is focus on what? Assets. Keep going. There we go. Thank you. Focus on assets. I want us to learn something about assets. I'm going to put it in the most simple terms, but it's the ones that it opened my mind to know what it means. An asset puts money in your pocket. Are we together? An asset does what? Puts money in your pocket. A flosset, which is a term that was coined by our founder, Washeke. A flosset is something that you own, but instead of putting money in your pocket, it takes money out. Now, the one that we are most familiar with is our car. Hey, when you buy a car, does it ever pay you? What do you pay the car? Fuel. Oh, no, wait, stop. You went too fast. You bought it. How did you buy it? Did you borrow? So you're paying for the car and you're paying for the loan. Then after that, you fuel, insurance. What else? Maintenance, spare parts. Does the money ever come back into your pocket? But you own it, isn't it? Is it an asset? All the money comes out. Hey, and after 5 years, how long does the loan take to pay? 4 or 5 years, yeah? After 4 or 5 years, you want to sell the car. Will you even get the money, half the money that you bought it for? Is your car therefore an asset? No. I want to show you something. This one is hard, so breathe in and out, okay? It's okay. I want you to understand this. If you buy a house and you live in it, it is not an asset in the same way that you think. Those who own their own home and live in it, does your home pay you anything? In fact, when the faucet breaks and you have to call the plumber, do you call the landlord? Who is the landlord? You call yourself. This house is in a leafy suburb here in Kampala. You know this house. You've seen it. You've passed by. How much is it worth? How much? Just say, 4-bedroom on its own piece. You know. Give me a number. How much? 800 million. Good. And you live in it. Wonderful. And it takes all the money out. What if we moved a little bit further from where this house is? Just a few minutes down the road. Just a few minutes. Take that same 800 million. Don't build a house. Build a block. Are we together? Same 800 million. All right? With 800 million, a very simple bed sitter, Not something expensive. Bedsitter or 1 bedroom. How many could you build? 800. 5 to 6. Good. Get 6 tenants. How much will they pay you every month? For one? 1 million or so. Let's say 1 million. Good, per month, right? And how many are they? So how much is that per month? Here you are in your house looking wonderful. This person has their house, but all the money comes out. This person here has a block, now has a new title. They are called who? Landlord. And every month, what is coming into their pocket? How much? 6 million times 12. Per year. Between the two of these people, who is the most wealthy? Now listen to what we are saying here. Our aim is not that you remain just on this side, but that you would have sufficient assets that they would pay you to live comfortably in your own house. Is that not wealth that we're talking about here? But many of us work so hard to buy a house and then park, hey, Mercedes lady, where are you over there? Hello, how are you doing? To park the Mercedes outside here, and then when the job disappears, what happens? They auction it. Ladies and gentlemen, there are those who look wealthy and there are those who are wealthy. Which one are you? I want you to understand that it is very easy to work hard for a lifetime, and that work never comes back to pay you. We want Africa to be this generation here in Africa to be the one that finally does generational wealth well, where we are no longer starting from scratch, but we are setting up our children for the lifestyle that they want and the lifestyle that you want. It's no longer about making such choices. I'm going to come back and show you what loans look like so that we make some decisions around that. But I have the immense honor of inviting our next speaker. She has been our biggest advocate here in Uganda and across Africa. Can you guys put your hands together for Flavia Tumusime as she comes to say a few of the things that she has learned as well. Guys, was that enough of a clap? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Thank you, thank you.
She has a presentation which you can put.
Okay. Thank you so much, Waithaka. This is Team Online, huh? Yes. Hi to everyone online. COVID really taught us to speak to. Hi, guys. Is everyone on? So, hi to everyone. It will be, if I forget you and I start talking to people in the room, I've apologized ahead of time. The cameras are catching me. Okay. I've got a presentation, so as that comes along, almost, so we shall go ahead. Good afternoon. How are you? This is such a good quality crowd. I was talking to Joshua about that. I said, I mean, I've done this over the years, talking in front of people, and I can always tell a good quality crowd. Engagement, you speak up, you're not just speaking for. When they said, you have 2 minutes, my neighbor, Dennis, yes. When they said you have 2 minutes to, I think, talk to each other or ask each other or talk to, I said 2 minutes. That's like until tomorrow. 2 minutes? Dennis and I said, what have you learned? This, even you, this. Then we said, like, everyone was like, I was like, what are they possibly talking about? But that's how you know a good quality crowd, because you're not just here as placeholders, you're here because you actually want to be here. And guess what? I'm also here because I actually want to be here. Fast forward, okay, that's come up, but 2021, right out of lockdown, I wouldn't say out of COVID because we're still in COVID, I think I had a conversation with, was it with you? about bringing Centonomy to Uganda. It was with, sorry, we have been together for very long, clearly. But after out of lockdown, I said, guys, listen, I think I was like, I'm willing to teach, I'm willing to do everything. If you could just bring it, in fact, you don't even have to come fully, just bring one class, and then we'll get a room and bring people. He said, I hear you, I get it. But you see, we're not yet. I mean, what we'll do is research the market and we'll see. So well done, Centonomy, for eventually coming. Because for me, I thought, imagine what I know. Imagine if my people knew this, you know? So I get goosebumps that this has actually happened. So thank God. I don't know how much of value I will be because I was listening to the speakers and I'm like, Kali, that's not me. Me these days I'm for vibes, to listen. So I do not know how much of value for you, but I know that there must be people in the room who do not know who I am. So I'll give you a bit of, I mean, this is really for when someone says email me and you want to write Luzungu. This is it. But truly, I'm at the bottom first. I'm a very proud wife and mother of 3. I've got 3 boys, so I'm raising a generation of kings. And I'm very committed to the balance of both your personal growth, personal life thriving and your other side where you want to make money. I took a long time. I'm turning 37 in 2 weeks. Yes. And I took a very long time on the other side of the spectrum where I said, let's make money. Let's get like career. Let's yeah. Until I realized, no, we've got to find a balance. One doesn't have to be sacrificed for the other. In the beginning, I sacrificed my family for my career and for the wealth journey. Later on, I sacrificed my career for my family. Right now, I have found a balance. Yes. And I can see very many women in this room, so I'm hoping that resonates with you. So I'm going to talk about my story. Obviously, I talked about COVID, so we'll start there. I got married in 2019, so a year later, they closed in, I will never forget it. They closed in March. I gave birth on the 19th of April. Exactly. Ooh, girl. First of all, I had a very high-risk pregnancy. I was freshly married. So first of all, you're freshly married, so you're already fighting in the marriage because you don't know each other like that. So there's a lot of wiggle space in trying to understand each other. And then now you're pregnant, and then now the pregnancy is, a very high risk, and because of high risk, I was in and out of hospital. So by the time they did lockdown, I would go to work in the morning, and my show at the time on radio was up to 3 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock I'd be in hospital to get what they call dexamethasone. If you went through COVID and you did get COVID, God forbid, you got dexamethasone. This is a steroid shot. For my skin, it would remove what they call hives or allergies in Uganda from head to toe, because at night I had to be on TV to read the news, and I could not show up looking half than beautiful. Yeah? And they would say like, man, when I grow up, I want to be like you. Like, which part? Which part? And so when they say to lock down, I'll never forget it. I was still working till the end. My boss on TV, who was at the time a colleague, Josephine Karunja, I don't know if anybody knows her, sat me down and said, I beg you, don't come back. She said, I'm a woman, I am a mother, and I'm working. It's not good for you. It's not a good look for you. I don't even know what you're preaching to young girls, that you hear this heavy. Go away. Come back when you've given birth. On radio, because nobody can see you and all your struggles, my boss held in. But I remember he looked at me because now this is during lockdown in March. So here I am pregnant. You need that pass to come to work. And I was, first of all, not allowed to drive towards the end. So at the end, he tells me, your show ends at 3. Today, let it end at 2. Okay. Drove me home and told my husband, I don't need to see her again. Please. The next day I was in hospital, gave birth to a wonderful, intelligent king, Liam Ahabwe Kabora. He's almost 5. But when I got home, my husband was working in this, he's still working in the sports sector. Sports was the first thing they locked down because we're not in stadiums, we're not doing anything sport-like. So for him, he's home. Now me, who at least could go to work, where was I? Why? I'm a new mom. I just gave birth. So now we are 2 human beings at... Forget it, we are 4. My mother came home to take care of me. You're saying we are 3. We are what? Now, I said, okay, we have some money, so you're still feeling middle income. Yeah? You're like, we got this, we're in an apartment, oh my God, like, it's fine. 1 month, 2 months, you're like, to die. You know, we have cars parked downstairs, but we're going to die, you know. So then he's like, no, but you know, I have a feeling they'll close it down for like, 2 months, 3 months. Now, because because journalists were like part of groups with the government and everything, we were told behind the scenes that this minimum this year and next year. I said, okay. Now, like any resourceful woman, you've got to change. Something has got to change. And I remember I had already wanted to sign up for Centonomy. We had already had those emails. And the class was around that time. So I said, now more than ever, I will take the class. And this is the first time I had this conversation. Washeke and Caroline were talking about dual income. It's the first time I had it defined that way. That when you're a couple, you have the privilege of dual income. Before that, he made money, I made money. And what was needed? Okay, how much is it here? We had never acted as a team when it came to money. Now, when I say that, I don't mean we're not putting money together. I mean there was no intentionality of saying we have the privilege of dual income. So now, here I was at home thinking, if I have these problems, what about the audience that follows me? Because if I am struggling, I can imagine I'm not even the average Ugandan. When they say average Ugandan, I don't think my face pops up. No, not like in a bad way, but you know what I mean? Like, I've seen average people. I'm not average. And I'm thinking this is bad, because if I don't know, a lot of people don't know. So during COVID is when I started the conversations. I went and did lives, I went and sought out information and people. And by the time lockdown was done, people were like, "Can't you find us another thing and tell us another thing?" So that's how my journey on teaching and learning personal finance started. When we're in the class, they talked about, I was like, first of all, this class is going to bore me. You want me to budget? You want me to what? And immediately in the class, they said, nobody wants you to live a small life. Okay? We don't want you to live a small life. Whatever life is in your head that you want, I want you to know that that is the life. Now, equip yourself to afford it. So, close the gap, in other words. So I said, oh, thank God. You don't want me to be budgeting and counting small coins, and then a coin bag, and then a what bag. That's not me. And I said, okay, what do I need to do to make that money? Sorry, I'm not even looking there, but I'm guessing you can always do that when you want. So for me, and I had not yet described the life I can describe to you today. There are a couple of mistakes. Then, I thought I really had information. Because after the class, I was still so sure, like many of you, that business was the answer to my wealth. Why? Because Waithaka is drumming it in your head. Washeke is drumming it in your head. Have something beyond what you do in your 9 to 5. So, Silly Flavia says, hey, business. So one person approaches me, and that is Chairman Amos Nzei. Who knows that person? Now, he says, Flavia, I know you, I've known you for years. I want you to come and do something for me. I want you to fix the PR and comms department. Now, Amos Nzei is the chairman, the board, for Crown Beverages, which bottles Pepsi, Aquafina, and now just bought the Kenyan franchise as well. And I said, no, he said, just go. This is how bad it was. He said, get the job description, tailor it to what you want, and we sign off. 2021. I said, okay. I look at the job description, because middle class, let me tell you, middle class and fame are terrible things. I was like, yeah, I can consult, but like, I can't work with people who like stress me, people who don't get the dream, the vision. So chairman, you and I understand each other. But like these average other people, we're not gonna, you know? So anyway, I did not like the team that he had, so I did not feel I could work with the team. Was I right? Probably yes. In how I delivered? Probably no. He did allow me to do on a consultancy level certain projects with him and with the team, and you could see, okay, I would make money, but still you're like, I'm not comfortable. And in that, in fact, I want to tell you that the day I was going to do part of the project is the day I got a phone call for option number. A lady says, hi, I'm so-and-so, I've been given your number. I have a business. It's existed for 2 years, but I'm failing. One, I know it's at the close part of your heart, so I know it will be easy for you. But two, I'm willing to relinquish whatever part of this business so you and I can be partners. I said, no, I was told in Centonomy, business is the way to wealth, so forget option number one, go to option. So I walked straight into the business. We had conversations. We did the legalities, you know, shareholder, blah, 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 all that nonsense. And I think a lot of you know it as Nella. So 2021, I gave up the option of being a cutthroat career woman and went for business. 2 weeks into the business, I said, it's a mistake. What's going on? But did I say anything? No. 1 year into the business, I said, it's really a mistake. Did I say anything? No. What I did, however, is grow the business, grow the brand. For who? For who? I know, but I'm supposedly the owner. Think about Joshua, go eka ina magezi. You've already seen the problems. Who's the owner of the business? The business has how many owners? Right? Did we do the legalities? Did we sign contracts? Who was the lawyer on the contracts? Whose lawyer? I think it can't be that person. It's my person. So it is our lawyer. So 1 year in, I said, but now let me now consult my lawyer who I should have consulted in the beginning. I say, Yvonne, please come look at this thing. Just have a look at it and let me know. What? You know, you hang up and I think someone opens the attachment. She called me back immediately. She said, Flavia, exit now. No. Don't even go to work tomorrow. Exit. I said, why? She's like, you're not going to make money. I said, no, I'm the one inside. We are making money. She said, how much of it is yours? I said, half of it. She said, okay. Can you actually take it out now? I said, yeah, I can take out the cash if I want, but we're still growing the business. She said, let's do coffee. She said, this is not your business. This is someone's business that you are growing. You as an individual, you are not growing. Which means in 10 years to come, when even if, let's say, the money has made billions, she's first of all, because she's not leaving her personal brand on the table, she's still making money elsewhere. You're giving up your life. So this is the only thing you have to wait for to grow. The person would wake up and make a decision on the business. And when would I find out? Halfway the meetings. I said, wait. Do you know what my family and friends would say? No, babes, that's how business is. That's how stuff is done. Yeah, you're even lucky. Thanks. You have something for to be known, yeah. So now I went to the one person who has a abundance mindset more than me. Ever since I met him, my husband talks here. He can have 5K. And it's Nalamuza a yacht. You're like, boss. You can't afford it. He's like, what do you mean? You know? So I went to him and I said, so this is the picture. And again at that time, remember, it was my thing. It wasn't our thing. So for him as a loving husband, he's like, oh, you go. He's not going to ask, what do you do every day? It's like, I don't want problems in this marriage. If living here and doing that makes you happy. When we talked, he said, Flavia, First of all, I think everyone you work for currently is exploiting you, including the radio station, including TVs, everybody is exploiting. He said, do you know who you are? Do you know the potential you have? And he said to me, I'll be honest with you, even me, I don't have the potential you have. I said, yet I make moves faster and deeper than yours. He said, so what are you waiting for? He brought back what Washeke had said, dual income. He said, you have the privilege that if you were stuck, I would. Why don't you make those risky moves? Because you have an option. People are making the same risks when they don't even have someone who could. I said, okay. So I quit what would be a 9 to 5. Never really had one. So after I quit, without having any backup savings, because I had dual income, I quit, you would say like on a Thursday. On Saturday, I found out I was pregnant. Notice nobody said, oh my God, amazing. There's no congratulations in this room. How rude. You guys. Thanks. Okay. Do you know how many people are looking for children? You're saying, Yes, it's the way I said it. I know, but so here's Flavia. And up until that point, I'm going to be very honest in this room, I was making collectively from maybe a few gigs and my actual salary, and if you combined everything, and I'm being honest, because me, I don't care, I was making about 10.5 averagely million. 10.5 million averagely. The day I quit, how much did I have in the bank? Jesus. Don't sus it. Don't touch Susa. Touch Susa. How much did I have? So you see, I quit, and it was a week to the last day of the month. So how much did I have? Thanks. Got at least. How much did I have? I did not have 10. I had only the salary of the job I was quitting. The month I was quitting. So you see, you quit 28th. On 31st, what they put in is what I had. Well, indeed. So you're going to say, but Flavia, you've worked for many years. How can you? Yeah. So for the benefit of the doubt, I did have assets. I had land, I had a house, in your chikazi sente. When you're younger, you're like, what should I do with money? Let me build a house. You never know my mother. Worst case scenario, we'll live in it. So I was not, asset-wise, I was not badly off. Liquidity, Centonomy's conversation. Where was I? So I went home, but what I went home with while quitting, I had lined up clients for my digital side, the influencing and everything. And because, what's that thing that you say, the money temperature, where if you're used to making 10 million, you only can make 10 million. So guess what? I had lined up clients to the tune of 10.5 per month. So the usual. I said, worst case scenario, these ones will give me contracts for like 8 months and I'll be kawa. Because I had gotten pregnant, who said they were high risk? I got sick from day one of my pregnancy. Halfway, they were twins. Then I was on a bed rest. Couldn't drive, couldn't move, couldn't. Cancelled contract per contract per contract per contract per contract. And now we're fully on one income. Then there's the marriage side. I think you're talking to me like that because we are on your money. Because would you be saying such things if it was a dual income? But in that time, when you're alone with your thoughts, if you're wise enough to have gotten all these lessons, so there's a chance you're going to hear what Washeke and Waithaka will say, and it won't register today. And let me make you comfortable, a very high chance. In fact, there's a high chance you'll get excited, get out of here excited, call everyone 2 months later, nothing. Because what I'm telling you, my twins are 1 year and 7 months. It registered last year. So I want you to be comfortable. when that doesn't rock. Because I still remembered them. They just did not apply quickly. Do you understand what I mean? So when I sat home, I said, but how are people making money? I clearly am not going to do this business thing the way people do business. It's not me. Career, even my career isn't career. So I'm not Joshua, you know what I mean? You cannot hire me to do a 9 to 5. Yeah, I went to school, I have a good track record, but I mean, you really can't. And now here I was giving birth to twins, and I have a toddler. So now with 3 children, I can't be the go-getter the way Joshua would be. And also, you know, so you can't even give me a 9 to 5. Because I have 3 children to now actually parent. And my husband said, whatever you're going to think of, remember these children? Please, we can't both exit the house, really. And I'm not saying it should be you because you're the woman. I'm just saying. So he got an opportunity to get a higher paying job. And I told him, pursue that. Maybe that is why God has done it that way. Now the ones who believe in God, don't come for me. But I said to myself, why was the business coming to Flavia? Because the business owner and I did not know each other. Why did the TV hire Flavia? Why did the radio hire Flavia? Why am I here talking to you? It can't be the only Ugandan female with this information. I can't be the only one with a good story. But there's something about Flavia. People don't hire for a TV, it's Flavia. So I said, I am the business. I will become the business. I will work hard on this business and make myself, I'm not even a startup because remember I had experience. So I positioned myself, every day I wrote, what would that brand look like? What would it do? Which client would it work with? What would it say? How would it put, my friend, business case or business case? Of which business? Me. People are afraid to say this because you want a brick and mortar. You want to be able to walk into a shop and say, I sell these goods, and this is the business. I go to China, I go to Turkey. I'm not afraid to tell you because maybe that's who you are. That's why some of you resonate with Joshua because you're like, oh, thank God, I didn't want to quit my job. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're like, honestly, I don't want to quit my job to do the side hustle. Yeah? Now, I own 2 businesses, so you're going to ask yourself, but how? I don't operate these businesses. I give these businesses that I founded the expertise that I have. And the others, the system does it. Call yourself an angel investor. You can go and bring your 10 million and give it to Rita to add in her business, and for an exchange, a percentage. You're silent. It's passive income. Is that what we said? You do not have to be the one who's going to China. Let's all behave. You can go to China for vacation. But what I'm saying is, we don't always have to be the same person. Do you know what I mean? And I don't even have to be Joshua with the 12 countries or 8 countries. You understand what I mean? So it's, because I'll tell you for free. Companies hire me. The other day, I was telling my husband that it's amazing when you find value, what you can do with it. Someone was talking to me in a conversation, just like we'd be talking. And Waithaka maybe says, you know, Centonomy is having an issue trying to figure out the digital, da, da, da. And I said, oh, but you should do this and this. They said, how? It's a long story, but if you do this, she said, stop, Flavia. Let me send you an email. She says, how long would you be able to help me? I said, 2 days. I just need 2 days to sit with you. I brainstorm with you, and you've got the idea. She said, okay, so how much would you charge me per day? So I said, $900. She said, okay, let's sign an MOU next week. $900 per day for 2 days. Now, I could Kulemerako and want to be Joshua with the title, manager. But could I make the same money probably in even less time? Yes. Yes, it's possible. You could make $100,000, $10,000 a month. It's possible. But who's making the money? This business. Because I've improved myself. I've proven that Flavia can be the business and can actually stand on ground and make business. Now, last year in August, before that, I decided to go back to school and did something that further, after Centonomy, changed my mindset. Studied software engineering. And I saw the world larger than it had ever been. Because when you look at tech and innovation, the amount of money there, and someone says you can sit where you are, be a product manager and you'll earn $15,000 a month working 8 days a month. 8 in your home, in Uganda, for a Danish company that has never met you. I said, excuse me, what are these games of being on TV we have been doing? Who wants to be famous? I'm selling it. I'm selling it. Here, take it. I want money. So I said, wait, what? So I want to tell you from August of 2024 until today, and I'm not joking about this, I've made 10 times more money than I made in my 20-year career. There's sugarcoating. 10 times more money. Being a mother to my children. Present, there. I know them in and out. Managing my household as a wife. Knowing my partner. There's being with a partner. We're together. Me and you, what don't you see? I'm in your house. I spend the night here. But then there's knowing your partner. I think about the days I had 5 jobs and 30 clients and all these things, and my marriage was crumbling. I barely knew our firstborn. I was like, since when? Your child is almost thinking, I should ask you. You are the adult in this house. But I was thriving on the work end. Everybody's clapping for you. Oh my God, you chick, you're a go-getter, you're a high achiever. You chick, you inspire me. In what? In what? Do you know what I mean? Today, I can still inspire you. In fact, better, because now you can actually make real money, not the other than you thought was money. Yeah, there's a time where I thought I was making money and I even talked badly to people. You start changing, eh? Your accent changes. Book an appointment with my assistant. Because now, that even use words, threshold. The threshold of, the threshold of money I'm now making is, You start saying, kamekako, bad black style, But that's not money. That's not money. Right now, what I've aimed for is freedom. I know that if you brought here money, millions of shillings, and put them here, I'd still walk away. They mean nothing to me. It's what it can maybe get for me. So I know when I told you in the beginning, I don't want to live a small life. So the other day my husband said, I fear talking in front of people that say na sente. I said, why? If you don't have, you don't have. He said, no, because it's a different story for both of us. You might be saying you don't have money and you don't have a meal today. So when we say, well, that guy today, I'm broke. I have no money. You mean you don't have a meal tonight. And then I say the same thing, and I mean my dogs don't have food at home. Is it the same thing? Yeah, so people say sina sente. You have to be very careful. Yeah, I have an aunt of mine who's very wealthy, owns buildings and buildings in Muyenga, and you know the value of Muyenga. But she's always saying, "Ako can make a kebidi." Mama. And she's like, hey, tuzigenda vawa na how much talye? And you're like, babes, a small custodial apartment is like $3,000. Pay. She's like, sentences, center. So for me, I always knew that's not me. I want a good quality life. And I will work hard to afford a good quality life. In fact, I tell my sons, you are kings. And kings will bless others because they're abundant. So when my son is in any room, in his mind, he has too much. And when someone wants something, you should get it. What do you need? I can help because I'm abundant. I never want to say I would like to eat something and say, budget. Huh? Yeah? So for me, what I do is that I work hard to earn to be able to not budget in the way that other people budget. Open budget. Yeah? That's what I do. So for me, I know our life, even if at a dual income, costs X amount of money. For us to live, for us to be happy, for everyone. Outside of that number, we are now saving. Hey. So we make sure the dual income on a worst month gets double that number. You understand? Double that number so that the number we first arrive on it and enjoy our lives. We pay ourselves first. And then the other double goes into saving. So even in terms of assets and investments, as a couple, as dual income, January 2024 to January 2025, we've done the most as a dual income. In terms of value, as I conclude, today, if somebody calls my number, you can tell the caliber of clients that are calling me, you can tell the caliber of rate they're able to accept, and the quality of work I am doing. I'm not begging for it. I'm not pitching, please, please, please. I'm not giving any presentation. It's finding me where I am. Because I did the work of sitting down and drawing the plan that they'll advise you to do. Who are you? Who do you want to be? At the end of all of this, who do you want to be? Then you'll come down eventually to a number of what it makes that person. And then what it will take, what's the value you're going to bring to this market? Sometimes you're not the value, it is the potatoes you're selling. Sometimes it is you, like Flavia. Do you see what I mean? So don't say, I have to be like Flavia. No. What value will you bring to the market to get you the number that you can spend in a month to live the quality of life you're happy with, and then the other number that you can now go and say, nyumba ya make it Dubai. Now, I'm just asking, just for the sake of it, you know? So you don't have to dumb down your life. Just increase your value, increase what's coming in, so that you have the luxury to have wiggle room for your dreams. Thank you.
No, you missed it. You missed it. She said, no, wait. You build the value so that you can have what? Wiggle room for the life that you're looking for. One of the things Washeke says all the time is you cannot shrink into greatness. So you can't save to become wealthy. Saving doesn't work for wealth creation. You have to invest. And you're going to invest in yourself. You can't walk away. People have questions. Please, there's one there, any other, there's one there, and that. Those are the three that we'll take for now, and then we'll look at the ones in the chat box and the Q&A online. Just send them there. Who was first? Over here, please. Just stand. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Christine. Thank you, Flavia. That was quite inspirational. I like when you talk about dual income in the young marrieds' lives, actually, because growing up, like money, I don't know if other people can relate, but those are very sensitive conversations. So my question, how do you increase having that money conversation with, he had to go for a meeting, but yeah, I wish he was here to hear your session.
Okay. Do I answer one, so that I don't
Yes,
forget?
please
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think this is very key, and thank you for asking that, because that's a very important conversation as a couple. In the beginning, when we started dating, first of all, we had been friends. And apart from friends, we had worked in the same, so Supersport and Channel O are under the same company in South Africa. So we'd work together. However, when we started dating and talking about money, I realized I had never earned close to the amount of money he was earning. And yet, in the market, I was more famous than him and had more business than him. But Mans was getting double my income. And he was shocked as well that with my less income, I had more investments. He's like, but how are girls wired, you know? But after that, he did something, and I'm saying he because I don't like taking credit for things that are not mine. My husband changed how we do money in our household, that we followed till today. He said, me, I know my problems. I'm a very traditional man. You're never going to feed me, and I'm happy. Even if you go and make billions, do it for your children. But me, the day you feed me, we have lost the marriage. So I will go and hunt. When I make 100,000 shillings, 20% of that is mine. Pay me for going out and working. 80% belongs to the family I am building. Till today, even if you paid him, I don't know what amount of money, he says, this is the contract, this is the amount of money, Mbabanja. Give me my money. And because of that, he doesn't have the worry Because he says, me, I can make the money. Because remember, we just saw it. He could make the money even when he was single. He wasn't very good with managing and investing it. In the beginning, what did we realize? Clearly, the making wasn't mine. But the managing and investing was my strength. So he chose, you do that for us. In the beginning, he didn't even know where the money was being invested. At the end of the month, he'll just hear, how much is here? And in this thing? And what did he buy? Well done. Woo! Now, I told him it can't work that way. Because now the investments are not that few, and they're not for little money. You have to be involved. So what we do every end of month, I sit him down, I say the kids' trust fund is at this point. And this is how it got there. Our emergency fund is at this point, and this is how it, proper, like he's my boss. And in turn, he pays me a percentage for doing the accounting for the family. Excuse me, it's a revenue, it's an income stream. It's an income stream. All that hard work, yeah? But it was because, and Centonomy will tell you that, know the strengths. Even as a couple, know the, isn't there a Centonomy class for
Money and relationships.
Yes. Know your strengths. Now, I know, and I want to be an honest woman with you, even when you know your strengths, some men don't listen. That is a conversation for money and relationships. I think they'll find a way to bridge that, but that might be sometimes the issue, but for us, that's how we've done it. Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time being marriage counselors, and so we actually introduced a module called Money and Relationships. And it's not just with your spouse, your children, your parents, your relatives, you know, other communities that you're part of, and we'll discuss and help some of the tools around that management. So question, just quickly question. Yes. And yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Dina Kansime, and I run a tour company, Marvel Safaris, but I'm also a baker. I do many businesses, and I wanted to know how to strike a balance. It's been 5 years, 5+ years, but I'm still struggling to manage them. When I was reading Centonomy, I got to learn about it actually through Flavia, and they were telling us, teachers us, even if you're a startup, a business owner or anything, it would be a good course for you. And I'm seeing here the course is saying 500 modules, I don't know, 311, I don't know. It's a lot that I need to understand. However, my question goes to the Joshua. How I can strike a balance between the many businesses that I have. Do I need skills? Do I need a skill to do a business? For example, I am a baker. I am the accountant. I'm the content creator. I'm the transporter, the delivery guy. I am the team builder. Okay, it is so much stressing. When you go to the tour company, okay, I don't go to the field because I'm not a guide, but I draft itineraries. I make sure, sometimes I do airport pickups. Okay, I don't drive, but I have to go and I make sure a client is comfortable. So it is so much draining. So sometimes someone was telling me, Dina, now you need to do, I was conned when I was doing my websites and everything. So he told me, I need to get a skill of website. I mean, like, be a website designer. And I'm thinking, okay, isn't that so much draining? Must I really? Okay, must I need skills to to operate a business? It's really draining, and I'm really struggling. Thank you very much.
So I feel like she represents a lot of you, so I'm going to very quickly say this. Some of you really, I feel sorry for the time you have in your lives. You're wasting it. It's not a good use of your time, because all of you don't have a why. You don't have a why. And that's why you can be told website, you start going to learn a website. You be told, you have businesses that are in different sectors. You don't have a purpose apart from I want to make money. And yet you can have the same purpose, I want to make money, but now zero back to everybody has said it. You. Don't ask us skills. You. Because Joshua might love you enough, but he's never going to extract the you. Even Waithaka and Washeke will not extract you. So write that purpose. What do I want? Even if I want to make 100 million shillings, what is unique to me that I can offer
to make 100 million. Not because so-and-so is successful at team building and I say, let me follow her. I've seen that when you're sent, you will be stuck and say, but how come she's making money? And yet me, I am not making the money. It is the you in it.
So last question, and then we'll go. Joshua, I've saved you. I will answer that question around balance just now.
Hi, Flavia. I'm Judith. I'm a career person, so I'm not so much of business. My question was, so when you got the money or when you started making profits, how did you handle the black tax thing? I know you get this because wedding invitations will come and they expect you to give a certain amount of money. Friends will come to you. How do you manage the expectations? Because they'll get disappointed when you send.
Yeah, you're a very rich woman. Because you don't give what you don't. You don't give what you don't. So you're very, very rich. I don't have black tax anymore. I had it until I got married. I'm an only child, so you're going to ask where's the black tax from? It used to be from my mother, not money to her. My mother was self-sufficient. But because she had one child who was successful, and she didn't clearly need the money, everyone else would come to her. But today, and my mother would say, what? Flavia, can you believe those children? So now I'd have to be a kind person and say, you know, that's so bad. So that for me, that was my black tax. The day I was going to get married, I sat my mother down and said, you see, we've done, because Banyankore do 3. Gambo Bujeni, Kuhinjra, and then the wedding. Imagine, you get married after 3 events.
Okay. We have many.
Oh, same. Yes. Many. So I told her, my husband has self-funded the wedding part. Meaning he has married his own. We did the Kuhinjra and Gambo Bujeni ourselves. Nobody, we've not called a meeting. So do you see how it has not been anybody? She said, yes. Going forward, I would like to be just me. Just now the children I will have. She said, I didn't realize, I had to have a proper conversation. I said, when somebody dies, if I'm available, I'll bury. It's the truth. You have to be realistic. So once I checked her, nobody calls my phone. That's it. Yeah.
Can we put our hands together for Flavia, please? Just amazing, as always, and it's been great to partner with her over all these years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One more hand for her, please, as you can. We can't answer every question, and we're trying to close as we come to this point. If you don't mind just putting the presentation on the Zoom onto the screen, please, just real quick, if you don't mind. The transformation starts now. Many of us always have a plan, I will get there at some point. And there are people, because we've been doing this for 16 years now as Centonomy, who come back and say, wait, what? Now it is at the level that it is that we've been looking for. Are you able to find the Zoom presentation there? And there will never be a perfect time for you. It'll never be convenient. It'll never be easy. There'll always be more and more responsibilities as they come. And so the time for transformation is when? It is now. So the program runs this way. You have, starting the month of February, we're going to be doing 12 modules for you. And the classes, you start off with registering on a normal day. You would register at 45,000 Ugandan shillings. That's what you would register with. But because you have shown up here and you have given your time, you have given your energy, you have paid money to be in this place, we are giving a discount from 45,000. You register today for only 15. The registration, yes. You register only for 15,000 and then you pay the full fee, 1.445 million, over the 3 months that you're going to be with us. It is payable in installments, which makes it much easier for us along the way. So that full 1,445,000, you pay it in 3 monthly installments. The first of 510,000 when you're coming into the class. After 1 month, Then you pay another 510, and then after one more month after that, you pay the last installment of 425,000. This is how to think about it. I want to show you the classes that you're going to go through. You go through one class per week so that you're able to learn and implement. If you come, I'm sure even today, looking at your faces, this is information overload. It is, okay? It's a lot to take in. And so what we are determined to do is give you an opportunity for implementation. So you come into the class, and by the way, people think this is Centonomy is a budgeting class. You will spend 15 minutes on a budget in module 1, and you will not hear about it again, because it's a tool for the work that you're going to do along the way. It is now about what actions do you take beyond that point. So you're going through these 12 modules where you're going to talk about money management. That's where you talk about budgeting, tracking your expenses, putting together your net worth, which is what Joshua talked about. We do that in module 1, finding out what are your non-financial assets so that you're earning more than what you're earning currently. How do we build that value into yourself? Then now we get into the technical classes. My favorite class, time value of money. How do you plan for the future? So that you're able to say, which of these investments, because there are many, aren't there? Which one matches my goal? And we work that out here so that when you come into the debt management class, you're already beginning to think, how do I use debt for my growth? How do I get out of bad debt? You know, there's some people who have switched off their phone because everyone is calling them, asking for, and we deal with it here. We'll give you a debt repayment plan if you have multiple debts, how to get out of it. Then we talk about living abundantly. This is taught by a life coach. Why? Because one of the things we are never taught is how to dream. Okay? Then dreams are useless unless you turn that dream into a goal. And once you turn that dream into a goal, it gives you what? Action points. And that's what this class is all about. Then I know these are the classes that you're looking forward to. Investments, isn't it? You want to know about all these various facts. Why do we bring it at this point? Because without a goal, investments mean nothing. Because you might be putting money into that money market fund thinking my future is secure, and it is not. Because the money market fund is for saving. So we begin to give it context. So we give context to all the investment options that are there so that you can apply the principles to all the opportunities that you may have. Last but not least, we talk about how to protect your money. How does insurance play into your goals? How does estate planning play into your goals? And estate planning is not just writing a will. It's about organizing your wealth so that that wealth begins to work for you. We talk about taxes. How do we make sure that we are being tax efficient? Because many times, especially employees, we don't even know what our tax obligation is. Somebody else does it for us. Why are you not involved? We'll talk about that. And in Module 11, we take all the knowledge that you have learned after these 10 weeks of learning, and we put it into a 5-year financial plan so that you have actionable points for every month. This is what we are talking about. And last but not least, we discuss this thing called investment groups. Remember we talked about our strengths as Africans. One of our strengths is community. And if we don't value that community, we can find ourselves in a tough position. So how do we build that? That's what we're talking about. So if I want you to take that action right now, if you're in the room and you're able to use your mobile phone to do this, the Momo Pay, the number is there on the screen, especially for those who are online, you can be able to take it down. For those who are here, here's the number, +256 762 329 170. I'll say it again, +256 762 329 170. You'll see the name Malvin Mashara there, and you can pay in that 15,000 there. We have other payment options that are available through the bank. You can also use PayPal, and you can use Pesapal, and we'll be able to assist you at the desk there. What I'm trying to say is take action when? Now. Because every time you push it forward, you're going to find yourself in a position where it's hard to keep track of what we're saying. You wanted the phone number one more time? If you're using that, this registration discount is for our inaugural Uganda Open Day. It is not for tomorrow. So if you come tomorrow, what will the registration be? 45. Today it's how much? 15. Which is the best day to do it? Thank you. So actually take that action now. Then the fees and the installments can be paid later as we're going through the process. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my immense pleasure to invite the founder of Centonomy. She is an author, she's a serial entrepreneur, and she's overall a great human being. Can you put your hands together for Washeke Ndwati as she shares her experience?
Thank you. Waithaka keeps calling me a serial entrepreneur, and I keep refusing that I'm a serial entrepreneur. Is it afternoon? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, I know I'm always given the graveyard shift of people are ready for lunch, they've absorbed so much information, and I'm always like, what else do I say when all this has been said? And even if you look at some of my points, I promise we didn't have a meeting. I didn't have a meeting with Flavia, with Joshua, with Rita, even Waithaka. We hardly talked about what I'm going to say versus what he's going to say. But it's like all my points have been said. And sometimes I think that God is just saying the same message has to just be repeated over and over and over. But I am so happy that we are finally in Uganda live. Yeah, and we're going to do many more of this. For those who don't know me, my name is Washeke Ndwati. Yes, I am the founder of Centonomy, but I don't think I am the just a founder. I'm that person who was sent so that my message can become message. Centonomy did not start because of perfection. So if you want to see somebody perfect, you want to hear how Washeke just did everything perfectly, how her money is perfect, how she's run her business perfectly, how she has managed her life perfectly, I ask you to leave now. I'll remain with those who accept imperfection and just understand that things are made perfect within environments of imperfection. And you've got to just allow yourself to deal with the imperfection. So the imperfection of my life and what started Centonomy was, of course, guess what? What? Messes about what? Money. Money. And I think many people who run businesses know some of your businesses start because of a problem that you had. Then you realize other people have the same problem. And I had worked, and if you think my employment history, I never stayed more than 2 years at a job. I was just one of those people, part of that statement, ants in your pants. For some reason, I couldn't feel settled. And I think sometimes just understand, there are things that are for a season, and then you're going to feel some sort of way, and you're going to have to move on to the next season. And if you keep holding on to a past season, you are going to miss the boat on the current season. So when you're feeling, sometimes are you feeling like, even if things are okay, you're earning a good salary, it's okay, the business is okay, but are you feeling something? It's calling you to either make a change within there or to change the environment. So my last job before Centonomy, I started a business helping people buy and sell shares on the Nairobi Stock Exchange. So I was in employment, and then I started the business. But it got to a point where I was not being fair to the employer. I mean, when you leave your jacket hanging on a chair at 9 o'clock in the morning and come back to pick it up at 4 o'clock in the morning, then imagine you're cheating your employer. That's not fair. So I decided to leave. And for those of you who are ever thinking of making the leap into business, please don't think that it comes at a perfect time. We've had Flavia's story just now. It's not that my salary matched, what the business could pay me matched my salary that I left. It's never. I've not met anybody till today where that it works that way. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. But so I took the leap and I left. So I started helping people buy and sell shares on the stock exchange. Hey, that is when the money lesson started. Please note, when I was working, what did I say? Help and buy shares on the stock exchange. So what should I have as Washeke? I had nothing. Because of the comfort. Aren't we comfortable? Sometimes we're like, yes, I love what Waithaka is saying, but what did you get paid? Anywhere between the 24th to the 30th of the month. What if one day your employer says something went wrong with the system? So you're there on the 24th, something has gone wrong with the system. What happens in your life? Yeah, you boil, etc. So as much as I had all the knowledge, and sometimes we can have knowledge about how to invest. That was not my problem. I knew how to invest. I just didn't do it because the system has never failed me. I went into the business and realized business is a failed system from the word go. There was no 24th. I used to be paid on the 24th. And it used to be so bad that where I worked was a bank. There was a club next to the bank. Yeah, so from work on Friday, we just go to the club. And we would, on the if the Friday landed on the 23rd, 24th, we knew the system so well that we knew at midnight credits have entered. So we would go and have fun at the club. Then to pay the bill, we all go to the ATM. That day knowing, and it never failed. So I went into business expecting the same system to keep working for me. Shock. There was no 24th, there was no even 30th, there was no 24th for 4 months, nothing. So it got me to a point where one day I even asked God, take me now. I'm so broke. Just take me to heaven. God, I can quote for you, Elisha, you took him, is it Elijah? You see, he didn't quite die, you just zapped him. Even me, zap me. Then my level, because it's those days where you go to the ATM and the ATM laughs at you for attempting. You're insulting the ATM by attempting to withdraw. You're even told minimum withdrawal amount is this amount. Then you're like, do I go to the teller and ask for my minimum? Because the ATM has jammed with my minimum balance. Yeah, so maybe the teller can give me. So you reach that level. That's when I started asking myself pertinent questions. So clearly God did not zap me to heaven. I'm here. Yeah? But do you know what God told me? Even when I had nothing and I was trying to go to events, so at least there in the events I would get some bitings, yeah? My mother was tired of seeing me in her house at dinner, yeah? God told me, you are mentally able. You are mentally able. And what had happened as I was running the stockbroking industry business, I had started talking to people about money. Not because I intended it, but as we were talking about them buying and selling shares, they tell me this is for school fees. And I'm like, no, you can't do school fees on shares. Because if the share goes down, next time you can't tell the school, give me a discount because the shares have fallen in value. So I was like, there's a misunderstanding. Then I also realized it's not so much sometimes about the practical, it's our relationship with money. I realized women who'd come in with their husbands, open a shares account, they invest money. She comes in later and says, this 20 million, never talk about it. He came, we came nicely as a couple. Then 3 hours later, she comes by herself. Here's a different address. Here's a different email address. Here's a different contact for this. And I was like, hey, things are. And then people who are just in the same situation as me, where we are so good, aren't we so good at showing that we have it together? And I was like, yeah, I used to pretend I have it together. Now it's all there for people to see, but we don't have it together. So that was the inspiration for Centonomy. So Centonomy was not for, it was about challenging that a certain narrative around wealth. I sat down during that time. Centonomy came as a result of conversations, not a classroom. I didn't go to learn how to teach this. But I had conversations with people, then I realized there's a certain way the wealthy people think. And one of the places I went to where I got an invite by mistake because they had said the minimum, what they were building up or putting up in Nairobi, the minimum investment was $1 million. But somehow I got invited. I don't know. This is where God works, because there's no way I had $1 million. There's no way, yeah? I didn't even know what I was eating that day. But I went and I realized one thing is that they are always looking for places to learn. They don't know more than you. They're just courageous enough to apply what they know at that point. And then when they don't know, they ask. Then they work together. And then there's a way their lives live. Yeah? And I think that's when I caught on to, if you didn't have money today, how long can you actually survive? And I realized I was that poor. That poor. This person who has a master's, this person who was a banker, this person who does a stock exchange, portfolio manager, you name it, had done all the rest, was that poor. And I was like, I have to change something. But I was so lucky that as I was changing something for me, I got so much companionship from everybody else, all of us, yeah? So I said, let me go on this journey and teach people. So I started with one person at a time. Let me talk to you about your finances. And by the time when I'm coming to talk to you about your finances, I don't even know how I'm fueling my car. The time I used to ask, will this E get me, does that mean Google? E on an 1800cc. Is that 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers? Then you hope the client pays you cash, immediately at the consultancy. That's how I started Centonomy. So can you see the irony? Someone who's that quote unquote broke, I'll talk to you about that word broke, is the one starting. So I felt like a fraud. And when you go on this wealth creation journey, please understand you will feel like a fraud. Because you'll be like, but my circumstances don't match what it is I am trying to do. So I felt like a fraud, but I kept the show going on. And that was what has led. So then it became a class called Centonomy 101, because I realized what you need to learn is beyond what I can teach as an individual. And then just something, a concept I call return on time. 80% of your problems are pretty much the same. But also that people really learn a lot when they're together with other people. So because money can feel so lonely. You feel you're the only one. But now when you come to the classes and realize people are asking, like what I felt in that room of millionaires, dollar millionaires note, yeah, is, by the way, they're not asking anything. In fact, some of the things they're asking, I know. But imagine I'm the one who knows it, but what am I doing with the knowledge? Nothing. They don't know it, but they have $1 million. What are we saying? What are we saying here? Yeah? But let's put us together. So we remove the embarrassment. Because sometimes a lot of our problems with money is shame. Shame of where we are versus where we should be. The stories we carry in our head. So it really started bothering me when people would say, people from my community, we don't do this. Or as a woman, you can't do this. Or I'm too old. I'm too young. In Africa, we can't. The government, the employer. We had so many reasons. Then I was like, I believe, and it is I stand on today. And I will stand till God decides now truly he's zapping me into heaven. Everybody was put on earth to create wealth. Everybody. There is no dignity in poverty. Everybody was put on earth to create wealth. But what we have to know is that there is no one standard. So you have to get to the point where you define wealth based on true values that come from you, based on understanding what it is you want, and not also the standard of society that has been set. So what would I have to have here for you to know I'm wealthy? What would I have had to come with for you to know I'm wealthy? A Mercedes. So that is the standard. Who said it is a standard? Yeah? Who said it is a standard? I don't have a Mercedes, but I've gone to Bali, I've gone to Greece, I've gone to Zanzibar. It's all so me. Like if I can keep doing that, I'm wealthy. And for somebody else, it's something different. Yeah? So I want to go through some points that whether it is through Centonomy, whether it is through my personal life, that I have learned along the way about wealth. And forgive me if I repeat some of the things they had said, but that is where we are. So I'll start. My motivation today is a parable from Jesus. There's a parable where Jesus saw this man at the well and he was lame. I don't know if you know it, yeah? And then Jesus asked him, why are you there? And he's like, I can't walk. Why are you there? And Jesus asked him again, why are you there? And he went, people are not even helping me. Sounds familiar. See, we do that a lot. Oh, why can't you invest? Oh, you know what? And then what did Jesus didn't even reach down to help him. Do you remember what Jesus told him? Get up and walk. And the guy got up and walked. So today, imagine we have to get up and walk. It is not about what is happening. We are all in African countries and we know what is happening. If we start talking about our politicians, we'll die here. All of us. There's a time maybe Kenya we could be okay, but now even we can't talk about our side, yeah? And we don't have a leg to stand on anymore, yeah? So, first thing I've learned is enter the bus. Nothing happens at the bus stop. So if you're going from point A to point B, it's very easy to write it down sometimes. It's very easy to map it out. It's very easy to look at somebody's point A, point B, and say, that's where I want to be. But have you entered the bus? Have you started with what you have? I started with one client. One. And now through various formats, we have been in front of over 1 million people. One client. Yeah, simply because of entering the bus. Because let me tell you, there are certain things I have access to from the bus stop. There's certain resources that will never come your way from the bus stop. There's a way of looking at life you will never see from the bus stop. Because by starting with that one client, I was then able to see, oh my goodness, they need more. Then I was able to get the trainers who can train more. Then we were able to do care. Then Ugandans joined us during COVID. Then we are here in Uganda. If needed, enter the bus with one client. But what are we waiting to have? We're waiting to start a business, we want 100 clients immediately. If we're waiting to invest and save, we want to have 20 million immediately, or 30 million immediately, or 1 million immediately, or 2 million, or 4 million. What do you have today? And you know what we're doing with what we have today? We're complaining. We're complaining. I love that Bible verse someone quoted today. Him who has, more will be given. Yeah, him who has not, even what he has will be taken away. So let me tell you, what are you doing with the one you have today? You're sitting down somewhere, having a coffee, having a drink, complaining. Then what is the value of the money is decreasing. So here I was complaining at some point in my life, and then the calculation that got me moving with Centonomy was lunch. And I hope I get the translation of the currency right. I talk about this so much because it is the truth. Yeah, I used to spend 9,000 shillings a day on lunch. Is that something easily you'd spend without even thinking? 9,000 a day. Yeah, you would, not even thinking about it. You probably even spent it on the way here. Now, 9,000 in a month is how much? Times 30. 270,000. What can you do with 270,000? Just given to you instantly. You can pay a bill, something you can, yeah? Now, what really shook me, because even when I was calling myself broke, I did have the 9,000 a day, lunch here and there, yeah? 270 a month is 3.24 million a year. Didn't Rita talk about starting her and her friend something with 4 million? Yeah, of course we learned from do not do Chinese you don't know, but yeah, it was 3.24. Someone gives you 3.24 on December 31st. What can you do with it? Enjoy. You can enjoy. Yeah. Do we struggle next year to pay car insurance? Yes. Do we wake up in January and remember we have kids that have school to go? See, we always forget we have children that need to be taken to school. We forget that. That is the principle of money. Small amounts matter. If you can't manage 9,000, why are you asking God to bless you with 30 million? Why are you asking God? How would he bless you with 30 million? How would he bless you with the house? How would he bless you because you can't manage 9,000? And all these people who win the gambling, yeah? But then they prove the point. They win so much money. Even some of them, that $1 million I'm talking about. In 3 months, where is it? Gone. Because the principles of money are, if you've not learned, if you have not developed your character, it doesn't matter how much money is put in front of you. And some of you are like, maybe you're earning more than you were 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And at that point, you always thought, if I earn a bigger salary, that is what will help me, correct? You're earning a bigger salary, right? Are you wealthier? Then why should you earn a bigger salary? Yeah? So we've got to, when Rebecca was saying, even me had written down, it's your fault. We've really got to understand it really is your fault. One of the things, this company was because of a non-financial asset. Nobody gave me 30 million shillings to start Centonomy. I met one person and started from there. So we really, and now it's 16 years. Yeah? Centonomy has been there for 16 years. Yeah? And it is almost still non-financial assets that keep us going. It is actually non-financial assets that keep us going. So there's money, yes, but what are you doing, one, with this extremely important resource called time? How much time do you waste a day? And we do this, in the class, we take you through even just watching of social media, the wrong social media for 2 hours a day. You will find in a year, you have wasted 2 months, the equivalent of 2 months. Just about 2 or 3 hours a day that you're wasting. You have wasted 2 months. If you went and did a course for 2 months, or worked on a business for 2 months, or worked on an idea for 2 months, if you had 2 full months where you're not being disturbed, imagine what you could do. But you're wasting that time. So you may be sitting with something. You know how to farm, you're a creative, you know how to write, you know how to speak. You know, someone who has always told you you're a good listener, you've not questioned, why was I given the gift of good listening? Yeah? It's not to just listen to the same person's problems over and over and over again. Yeah? And start saying, what do I do with this? And then just start from where you are. So use your non-financial assets. Don't wait to have it all figured out. So the Centonomy 101 program, by the way, I could only figure out the first 4 modules because that's what I knew. But I had seen that it needs to be these 12 modules because that's what people need to learn. And if anyone is in business, remember, it's always about what your customer needs, not what you can do. Yeah, so that's how you grow your business, by stepping into the shoes of your customer's problem, not you. You're not being defined by your own ability. So we ran the first 4. But during the first 4, I learned what the other classes needed. And who showed up? Other people who are experts in those areas to actually teach the class. But you had to start. So wealth is the same way. You will learn something called time value of money and the power of compound returns. Because that is when money is actually working for you. We like saying money has to work for me. Then you go buy a pair of shoes. That's not money working for you. Yeah? Money is working for you. Like when you put, very simply, money in a bank account, this is just very simply, it's earning interest, and then the interest starts earning interest. If we don't take advantage of that principle, we are losing. We are losing out on the potential of wealth creation. And that is why time is so important. But it's not just money itself. Even your own efforts have compound returns. There are times we've been at Centonomy and 7 people are in the room. Now you are over 100, we are over 300, including online, today. That's not because of today's work. That is because of seeds that were planted 16 years ago. So even the efforts are compound returns. There are certain networks I have access to now that I would never have had 16 years ago because I'm coming to them all compounded up. Yeah, so the doors open. Yeah, but you can't be in step 1, then you're like, then we look at people who've been there, and then they're like, why is she getting it? So everybody, none of us are going to escape time. And those are people who are older sometimes feel, I wish I started when we were 28, and you will feel like that. But also, if you're older, do you know you have probably come into the table with more, but you've not realized what it is. So go do an assessment. Yes, I'm older. Yes, I have not gotten my money right. I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s and 60s, but I have experience. I probably have networks, I have abilities, but we've learned to see ourselves in one dimension only. So we don't take advantage of the full scope of our experience. Go write it down. Write your CV differently and look at yourself differently. Have you met you? Have you met you? Yeah? Or are you and you keep defining yourself as you, the accountant? Because you have an accounting degree and an accounting job. But in that process and experience of life, even in the same job, you noticed I'm the accountant who's good with people. I'm the accountant who's analytical. I'm organized. When I'm in my family, I do this. I seem to love this. Go meet yourself today. Please, go meet yourself today. Vision is key. Vision is so, so, so key. And when I started Centonomy, I used to hear other people's vision and I get scared. Do you sometimes do like that? You're talking to someone who has been in property development for so long, then they're telling you about their vision to build like the biggest mall in Southern and Eastern Africa. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm not even going to start. And I used to be so scared because other people's vision was just so big. But that is why it is vision. It is not about you trying to fit into other people's visions. What is your vision in the simplest words you can describe? So my vision for Centonomy was, because of my experience with business, my first 2 businesses failed, yeah. I was like, the vision I wrote for Centonomy, even before writing CG, impact how many people it is. That one came as a surprise along the way. I just wrote, this company will run without me. That was the vision for Centonomy, yeah. So by the time I started Centonomy, it was about, I was very conscious about that systems. I was very conscious about the people I hire. It was a one-liner, subconsciously. Because everything I did, I was like, I must pass it on. And as I was sitting at the back today, I'm having almost a tearful moment as some slides are being shown, and I'm like, I came up with that 16 years ago. It is still relevant till today. That was 16 years ago. But I was like, it must run without me. And I think Waithaka is so right. And whether it's a business, whether it's wealth, I want you to think like that, because as Africa, we must start thinking legacy. We have to move from survival to significance. Because what we do is we survive, we get stuck in success. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm driving a big car. Oh, I have a house in the right direction. God did not put you here just simply for a good lifestyle for yourself. He didn't put you, he wants you to enjoy it, but not be imprisoned by it. Yeah? You should not be ashamed of having a good lifestyle if you have, but don't be imprisoned and think you have arrived. If you are still here on earth, I'm telling you, we will arrive the day we die. So how do you want to arrive? Your point of death is your arrival. Because we arrive into the next step, and he's telling you, that's all you did with what I gave you. Yeah, because you're thinking you're the it on the world. When we go there, he'll show you this is what it means. Yeah, your death is your arrival. So when we're here, we can't get to a point of even success and think that is it. What will have happened to your kids, your community, your family, your business, people, because you are here? Because now when you have vision, you stop being distracted by small things. You stop being distracted by small conversations. You stop being distracted by small people. You stop being distracted by what people think. And vision, let me tell you, can I promise you that this is an easy journey? No, it's not an easy journey. And there are days you will want to give up. There are days, honestly, have not wanted to get out of bed in the morning. And there are some days I've gotten out of bed, gone to enter the car, locked the car, gone and worn pajamas, drawn the curtains and entered bed. Because I was like, I can't face it. Yeah? But vision is like that. You need to have a vision for your life, and it has to be yours. And the thing with vision, it keeps unfolding. So you reach close, then you see, something else. Sometimes you don't even realize you've reached vision. At some point, my vision was, I couldn't imagine having a room like this full of people. Then it came, but the next problem had showed up. Yeah, then later, but you always go back and say, actually, always take a step back and say, actually, God has been good. Have actually achieved something. Because we are always so quick to define ourselves by our failures. We miss how we are growing and how successful we've been along the way. Your bank account is not your identity. Your bank account is not your identity. In the process of life, it's not having a bad bank account that is the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you're not realizing the person you're evolving into. No matter what the bank account is, you are becoming more valuable daily. Do you notice that value? Or are you so busy talking about your failures that you can't describe yourself differently? Again, I go back to meet yourself. Meet yourself. The other vision I wrote at the same time was, I will write a book. I had never written anything in my life. Ever written anything in my life. And then 10 years later, there was a book. Even in my statement, at that time, I'd said sensibility. The book is called Making Sense. I had never written anything. And I packed it. And one day, 2019, I'm like, hiya. 10 years later from the day I wrote that, I wrote a book. But because I wrote a book, I kind of started writing articles, thank you, etc. Again, it's the power of vision. So those small things that are disturbing you, and sometimes it's just an instinct. There's no logic, but the vision has no logic. But if you know how to do it today, it's not vision. That's just a task you should do. Those are just things you should be doing anyway. Vision, let me tell you, you don't know how to do it. And let us allow ourselves to want what we can't do, to push ourselves beyond, because that's truly when you get from goals to gains. You push yourself beyond what you actually think you can do. Now, why is vision important? Because of not even the book I wrote, not what Centonomy becomes, not about the portfolio you're going to have. Vision is important because of what it changes in you today. But that's why it has to be a vision that means something to you, or a goal that means something to you. If a goal does not change you today, it's not a goal. It's something good that you know could be done. Yeah? So, do you have a favorite car that you'd like to own? Yes, of course. Yeah. Do you have a favorite car? You have, eh? All right. Everyone has a dream car. Eh? Everyone has a dream car. Now, what happens the minute you walk out of here and you know that's the dream car? What happens? You start seeing it everywhere. Yeah. A day I decided that's my dream car. I saw it in fact, I was like, that color is the most unique color, and nobody has that color. I think I saw 5 of them before I got home. Because I realized that's the car I want. Yeah? The car was always there. You just hadn't seen it. Because the way our minds work, yeah, is that we start putting together information once we have given the mind an agenda. Giving your mind the agenda that you are broke. I don't care if you don't have anything in the bank account today. I don't care if I don't care. But if you tell your mind you are broke, I said I'll come back to this word because I actually don't like it, yeah? Because what are you telling yourself? I'm broken. Yeah, because of a bank account, because of black tax, because of a debt. I'm a broken human being. Yeah? But once you tell your mind that things are so bad, what will you see? Yeah. So your expectation has to become the car on the road, because that's when your mind starts putting things together. You start doing a budget. Maidaka talked about the Maldives. Yeah? Once that's a plan, somehow you start, and then of course Google has heard you. Suddenly, brrr. It's just packages, everything, yeah? Google has heard, even before you type everything, Maldives, there. Because the Google is listening, yeah? So, but they tell Google the same thing, telling you how bad the politics are in your world, yeah? So, when you give your mind that agenda, then it says, okay, let me piece the pieces together. You're at a wedding. Suddenly you have a conversation with somebody that you would never have had before. Simply because you're in the now space, the right frequency, yeah, to understand who else is on your frequency, to understand the conversations that you need to be with frequency. Please be so careful about this, because I have seen it in my life. When I get into that deep of things are bad, and then enroll myself in the poverty support group. We have a poverty support group. Yeah? Maybe you're even chairperson of the poverty support group. Yeah? So you have to learn, ditch the poverty support group. And I learned this because at the time, politics were going into an election, and I sat with people and the poverty support discussions were at its peak. How if this person comes in, this, we already know the economy. Then I sat to myself and said, Sheke, and I was engaging in it. Yeah, I was about to start taking minutes of that discussion. Then I said, Sheke, you have salaries to pay. Do I go back and tell Kinawedaka and Joan there's no money? Yeah? I have people to feed in the house. I have obligations. I've signed up for certain investments that still expect their monthly installment. Do I have the luxury of talking like this? No, I didn't. I didn't. And some of these guys know sometimes I've gone into the office and the office are in a poverty support mentality. Oh, clients are not coming. Oh. Now I've asked them, are you going to roll over and die? Then die. Or we keep it moving. So it's very becoming, I'm so conscious about what I consume on social media. There's certain things I don't do anymore at night. I will never watch news at night so that I sleep with that. Yeah, I don't look at my phone before certain hours in the morning. Yeah, because of that. Yeah, and because for me, my mind and how I think and how I reflect is how I come up with these things to teach other people. My systems have to be so clear. Yeah, my systems have to be so clear. So I can't. So I'm so conscious of that. Because have you ever been with people and then you leave there drained? It's yes. Please question. And you're not trying to change them. Let people be who they have decided to be, but you can put boundaries around something. Because when you feel drained, it means actually they have taken something from you. And then you want to fit in and conform, so you jumped into the conversation. Yeah? I mean, and it's all over. Ladies, if you want to find a man, you can't be there talking about how men are bad. And men, if you want to find a woman, you can't be talking about how women are bad. I mean, really. Then you're like, fine, then you're going to get the bad ones, yeah? So you have to operate and change your expectations. You have to change. Our expectations have become so low. Now go back and say, what are my new expectations? Not because you can do it today, but what are your expectations? Do what you think you are not ready to do. Don't seek investments. Whatever you can invest today, invest. Then go and start looking for bigger investments. You want to buy a house, go start looking for it today. As I said, it has to change something today. Adopt the behaviors of the wealthy, even if you're not wealthy today. Adopt the thinking of the wealthy, because nothing stops you from thinking. Nothing stops you from thinking. And you'll realize along the way, there are just certain bold moves that you're going to make that you're never going to thought possible. I like Josh how he said, I'm coming to talk. That is how it actually happens. I'm coming to talk. We have found ourselves in certain programs at Centonomy because we were rejected, by the way, and then I was like, I reject your rejection. Yeah. Yeah, actually, and you're right. Did I jump over my, what do they call it? Did I punch above my level? Yes. Did I punch above my weight? Yes. Yes, these companies are in the millions of dollars and what in revenue to see. They probably looked at us and they're like, these guys, there's no way. And I was like, so we were rejected. I reject your rejection. So we didn't get in the program that year, but the next year we were automatic. By the way, they were just ticking the box in the interview, as in it was just a formality. Yeah? But we were in. We got value, and even them, they have seen along the way why it is us that were needed to be in the program. They keep looking for us. Yeah? So please reject the rejections in your life. But they reject the rejections. Yeah? Reject the rejections. And I think this process of wealth creation, no matter how you do it, whether it's a business, whether it's personal, is going to be about your own character development. Because the only thing that is going to support wealth creation is character. That is it. But then money comes and goes. I can't guarantee you that you'll do an investment and you won't lose money. But it comes and goes. But character remains. Some people I know have said they're standing and their business has collapsed, but it's like, it's okay, I'll build another one. Because the character they have developed and the know-how they have developed, in 1 year they even have a bigger business. Yeah. Because people do go through their slumps. Even me, I've gone through my slumps, by the way. Personal things come in the way where you have a slow moment or slow years or slow season. But I'm like, I know myself. I will kick back. I will kick back. Yeah? So align your goals with what you want, not what you fear. Are you playing to win or playing not to lose? Many people are playing not to lose. So then you're in the awareness of loss all the time. It's like saying, I want to eat well so I don't die. Then what are you consciously aware of? Death and its various possibilities. You're eating spinach till you go green. Yeah? Because you're like, anything else will lead to death. Yeah? Google is giving you all the information on how death comes just by breathing. Yeah? Now you want an oxygen chamber. Yeah? So sometimes we have set goals, but are they in alignment with fear or alignment with aspiration? What you actually want. So you don't create wealth not to be poor. Because again, you will be very scared. You may not take certain risks. You create wealth because of what you have envisioned you want for yourself. Just like you eat well to be healthy, to have energy, to take care of your body properly. Yeah? Because can you see the difference even in your energy? If you say, I'm eating well not to die, what's your energy like? Then it's a task you're going through. And the same thing with money. Budgeting. Who likes the word budget? Nobody. We feel constrained, yeah? Because it's something we fear, yeah? But if you're saying, no, it's a spending plan so that you can achieve what you want. Is that better? Yeah. So it's not a budget to constrict you. It's a spending plan. And I think at Centonomy we've always said, this journey we are on is not about telling you to not do what you want to do. It's about first identify that it truly has value to you, and then plan your life in a way that you can do it. Maybe one of the things that was not going to be a question for me is traveling. So I don't need to have the biggest car in the world, but I need to travel. Yeah? So just align your goals not with fear. So when you're writing your goals, just be clear. Actually, it's in alignment with what I want, not what I fear. We all have fears. But that we have to make what we want louder than our fears. And I'm just going to talk on fear a little bit, because aren't we all scared in some sort of way about so many different things? And this fear has come from all sorts of directions. And I think we go through childhood. And even in the book I write about Douglas, who it's his childhood fears that were interrupting his financial abilities and how he wanted to go. Sometimes we were told, all these things we were told, money doesn't grow on trees. All that can come to play in how you're actually dealing with money. So with fear, I have good news and bad news. The good news is so many of the things you fear are never going to happen. That's the good news. But they sit in your head as a current reality, and sometimes it's because you're being triggered by something from our past. My mother said, my father did, etc. Then you're triggered by the poverty support groups conversations, etc. So you're just sitting with so much fear. Yeah? Yeah? That, by the way, will never happen. But can I also tell you the bad news? It's just good to be honest about fear. Things that you never saw coming are coming. So fear is it's so useless to sit with fear. So this thing, you're stuck because of things that will never happen. But there's other things you can't even anticipate. So I just encourage you, just do you. Because the more you do you, then you'll be ready to face. Because what we're developing in this is just that confidence, security. And it comes from a deep, deep level of faith as well. That when things do happen, I will be able to handle it. I will be able to handle it. But if you're stuck in fear, you won't be able to handle it, yeah? But when they happen, as they do happen, I will be able to handle it. And I'm sure if we had a fear session now, people can talk about things that have happened to them that they have been able to surpass. And sometimes always go back to, actually, what have I been able to actually get through? So why am I scared of things that will never happen? Remember, money is never enough to plug the hole of fear. So you can't use money to plug the hole of fear. And corruption is a very good example. People have stolen billions, correct? Yeah. Then you read about them, they're still stealing another billion. What is, I always ask, what is in this billion that the other billion didn't give you? Yeah, again, so they're looking for another security that will never be enough. So it's that our greed can never be enough. It can never be satisfied. Need can be met, but greed can never be fulfilled. So where you want money, ask yourself, where is it coming from? Because that's the thing with fear. Anything that is coming from fear, please understand it truly can never be enough. It truly, truly, truly can never be enough. So don't work from a place of fear, because you will never get to a point where money is enough. Yeah, so don't work from a place of fear. Let's not use instant gratification to appease fear, to appease the noise. Let's see something today, we are buying it. We need to start asking ourselves, what are you trying to feed? Even if you're overeating with food, you're trying to feed something that is not quite about the food and nutrition. Even with money, what are you trying to feed? And many times, as we found in our classes, we're trying to feed another animal called social status. Keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah. Right? The miners, the Joroges, keeping up with other people who were not built like you. Their destiny is not you. Their purpose is not you. Who in this world has the same thumbprint as you? Thumbprint. No one. Not even your spouse. Not even your child. Not even your identical twin has the same thumbprint as you. What does that prove to you? You're different. You're meant to leave your mark differently. So the purpose of Centonomy is empowering people to create wealth so that they can live abundantly. And for me, living abundantly is that you live a life where you're like, that was me. And then money was a tool for that life. Yeah? Money was now the tool. Money in itself is not the life. Money in itself is not abundance. Yeah? Abundance is the other things that come with you. Yeah? To empower you to do whatever it is you're gifted at. To empower you to travel if that's what you want to travel. To empower you to leave a legacy if that's what you want. To help your community if that's what you want. Yeah? Money in itself is not the life. But it is a tool, and one of the tools. Time is the other one, yeah? So now what we're learning here is, how do I make money a tool, but it is for me. You are the CEO of the money. The money is not the CEO of you. You are the CEO. So as a CEO, have you given money a job description? Have you given money a job description? Imagine you own a company, someone shows up at work, and you're like, just sit there. Have you given money a job description? What is your relationship with this person you've given a job description? Do you imagine having an employee and you're always there telling them, you're so bad, we are broke, why aren't you enough? Imagine being that employee where someone is keeping asking you, why aren't you enough? Or walking out on you all the time, never wants to spend time with you to even see how you're doing your job, ignoring you but expecting you to perform. What is that? So we have to question, what is our relationship with money? Imagine having a spouse that you treat that way. What is that relationship going to be like? Yeah. So maybe many money employees are trying to show up at your door, but they're like, this employer, we don't want. We don't want. Yeah? So back to what I was saying about your favorite car. Why, if today was the last day on earth, would you buy that car? No. Yeah. Or everybody that you know has been zapped to heaven, but you are left for some reason. God just says, you just chill for a bit. Would you buy that favorite car? How many people say no? Okay, all right, quite a number. How many people say yes, I would still buy the car? And maybe no one can react to this car. Even if you go to a supermarket, it's robots. The people who open the gate is a robot. No one can react. Yeah? There's no watchman to be like, Mkubwa. No one can react. Yeah? Nobody can react to this car. And I think now with things and your relationship with money, just understand, if you said no, then today why are you doing it? It is for other people's satisfaction. So that other people can see you in the car. And let us not confuse attention with respect. You get attention, which is so fleeting in nature. Because in 3 months' time, someone else has a bigger car. You're so used to you're now addicted to their attention like a drug. Yeah, you're addicted to it. So what do you want? More attention. So what do? Go get another loan to buy a car. Another bigger car. Shortly, the car is the CEO of your life. And other people's attention, the CEO of your life. There's nothing wrong with the car. But then there's nothing wrong with what you want. Now, me, I would buy it because for myself, my own enjoy. I was like, in fact, he's coming for me in 30 days. For my own enjoyment. I want to enter that car, feel the space, go on a road trip for me, and I will be happy because I experienced it. I experienced it. So what are those things that it is because you have experienced it? And I firmly believe there are those obligations we have in life. We have to pay school fees, yeah? Want to buy a house, all that is good. But in your financial plan, please have something that is for you. Like it is you who understands why you should have it, even if somebody else doesn't. And say, this I have to do for me. Because somewhere, again, when we have that sick aspiration, it kind of moves us. Because then I know I'm not going to engage in broke conversations. Then I'm going to be really questioned, do I have to buy lunch every day? So it starts filtering down to the small things. So yes, we want our kids to go to school, but let's not stop there. We want to retire well, but let's not stop there. What are those things that will just make your heart sing? Because you have a unique thumbprint. Yeah, that is it. Yeah, he came so that we may live and have a life of abundance. Yeah. If you don't, what you want is not bigger than the fear you don't want it enough. So go question why you don't want it enough. And maybe you're trying to want what you were taught to want. What your culture has taught you to want. But truly, you know that's not what you want. I've met many people who have been forced to work for their parents' businesses. And somehow the business has stalled. They truly were not created for the business. They're doing hardware, yet they're a mad creative. Truly, that's not their thumbprint. Yeah? So I'm asking hard questions. People are looking at me. It's hard questions. Well, you have to know yourself. Because you can have money and be the most unhappy person in the world. If I made money but I had to be working for 13 hours a day, I didn't see my son, I didn't see my family, I didn't see my friends, I didn't travel, I wouldn't be happy no matter how much money I have. I just wouldn't. Or if I had to run a business like a slave, empire, I still wouldn't be happy. Yeah? So just say, the Centonomy could have made more money, but there's a way we wanted to have the culture of Centonomy. So maybe at some point we didn't make the most money in the world because of that, but it's okay. Because if we went the other route, we could have, but it's not true to our values, not true to the thumbprint, not just of me, but of the people I work with. Yeah? Keep your eye on the prize, the car on the road. Yeah? You've already been told you are where you are because that is where you have chosen to be. And I'll end with these 2 points. One is you are never just one person. I think as you're in the bus, the most important asset you're going to learn is yourself. You are just not one person. When this Centonomy, the first name of Centonomy was not Centonomy, it was personal finance training. Because I was like, we're doing personal finance training. But later, we got the name Centonomy because I was like, actually, once we're in the bus, it's more than personal finance. You're not coming to Centonomy to learn how to save, invest, or even just manage a business. That's not what comes out of Centonomy. We're actually here to teach you to create wealth. That's really our end goal. So it went into Centonomy, which is about financial autonomy or financial independence. Sense for money, autonomy for independence. Yeah? So you're not just one person. Even me, I have the best thing since 16 years of Centonomy has been is to expose Washeke to Washeke. In all my wonderfulness and in all my fearfulness. We said we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't know why we run away from the fearfulness. Even you're also fearful. I don't know if they have this saying where they say, if someone has shown you who they are, believe them. Even you have shown yourself who you are. Believe them. Believe you. Believe you. You know you tend to procrastinate. Yes, you know. Some of you know, as Joshua was talking about time, you know. You know. Some of you, I won't even mention what time you've walked in here, but it's okay. Yeah, you know. So you have fearfulness and wonder. And some of them you'll be able to manage, and some of them are maybe just you. But I've also learned some of the things that we think are fearful, they're there for a reason. I used to call myself a procrastinator because when I do some things, I can procrastinate in quotes. And sometimes the procrastination can be months. But I actually learned the way I was made, I need to think and reflect before moving. And in a world that is pa. So he talked about Kenya, Nairobi culture, move, there, yeah. I think I'd be quite because I like thinking and reflect before making decisions. But why today something that came up with 16 years ago is still relevant is because of that process of thinking and reflect before putting it on pen and paper. When I move fast, I have made the mistakes. But from a business perspective, if those of you are entrepreneurs, doesn't mean your business can operate on thinking and reflecting only. The world is whatever, but I partnered with people who are good with that side. Yeah? Me, I'm more of the creative. They are good with that side. So where you are fearful, please note someone else has been made wonderful for you. Yeah, so you are never one person. What your abilities are never one person. 16 years ago, I was working with one person. I didn't think I would become a teacher. I never saw myself as a teacher. Yeah? I thought I'd just be a consultant. I didn't think I'd become a teacher. Yeah? Now this business literally runs without me. Everything that you have seen here today, I was just told, here is your ticket. Here is your accommodation. Let's go to Uganda. That's it. And here is your time slot. The graveyard shift is your time slot. Yeah? But these guys have done it all because of that one statement. I said, this company will run without me, and it runs. This company has run even 5 months consistently without me being involved at all. I have gone through personal things that I needed to stop. And one day, I think what wealth also gives you, just even if it's just that emergency fund, you may come to a point in your life where you're like, I need to stop to see the next. I'm burnt out. I can't see. Even when the day I stopped, I told them, I don't know if you guys remember, I was like, I can't see. Yet I'm a visionary. When I can't see, I'm disturbed. But if I keep coming there, doing the same things over and over, I'll never be able to see. So I need to stop. And I left them for 5 months. And it was that stop where if you guys can't handle it, just come and leave the keys at the gate. That's fine. I'm not going in. Yeah? But apart from nice lives, legacy, etc., things will happen in your personal life. Loss can happen that has an impact on you. You may have a personal issue. Like me, it was simply burnout. It happens and it stops. I had been told it's either you stop or we go into depression. So I had to stop. And sometimes if you don't stop when you're being told to stop, God has been telling me to stop for 3 years. When you don't stop when you're being told to stop, you will be stopped. Simple. And it was not just burnout. Now I can see the next step. Yeah? But I couldn't see. So what we're teaching you is not, it can be used for so many things. And some of it can be stopped. Wealth has been defined in so many ways. But before I define my definition, remember how you talk, how you think, and how you act. Please do your best to have them in alignment. We are never 100% perfect 100% of the time. But do your best, how you talk, how you think, and how you act, to speak the same language. If you ever sense you're in conflict a lot with yourself, please ask yourself, is how I am talking and thinking and acting in alignment with what I want? Or am I doing all that in the opposite direction? Yeah? I want you to remember money is a tool for the life. I've used that quote in my book, but it in itself is not the life. So after 16 years of Centonomy, after working with hundreds and thousands of people, after listening to people, yeah, My definition of wealth is in knowing what you want, courage to go through the ups and downs of it, because I cannot say there will not be downs. There will be downs. So, but it's a courage to go through the ups and downs, confidence to know you can handle it. You can handle it. Knowing you can handle it. Yeah? And then combine this with the knowledge to use the tools and the resources that you have. Wherever you are. What are the tools and resources that work for you wherever you are? That for me is wealth. Do you want me to repeat it? Yes. Wealth is in knowing what you want. Courage to go through the ups and downs. Confidence to know you can handle what comes your way. You can handle it. You can handle it. You can handle it. Yeah. And knowledge to use the tools and resources that you have wherever you are. Everybody always has something that they can use. Everybody, even a hawker on the street has something that they can use. So always take the step that is right in front of you. The one that is right in front of you. The one that, even if you can't see how it will lead to number 10, but you can see number 1. Enter the bus, take the step that is right in front of you. When you fail, take the next step. Learn the lesson, fail forward, take the next step. Just keep it moving. Take time to think, yeah? And our courses have been designed because we are more interested in you than we are about your business or your money. We're interested in you. Did you change? Did you transform? Did you become closer to the person that you are made to be? Yeah, that God created you to be. And if we can do that, and I think we've done that for 16 years, then we have done our work. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Centonomy. Welcome, Centonomy Uganda! Just so I don't forget, this book is available at the back, and I'll be signing some books after this. And I also have a podcast called Making Sense Conversations, yeah? So all the details are on the banner behind. But thank you so much. It is my absolute honor and privilege to be part of this launch event in Uganda. And I want to thank you guys for honoring us by coming and giving us your energy and your presence. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Hello. Washeke, you cannot leave. Just wait. There's one special item. John, if you can bring the gifts that are there. But there's a lady that I would like to guide to the front here, if you don't mind. Come with me. Yes.
And see, our CEO is a gentleman.
Yes. This wonderful lady, Winnie, came early in the session, Washeke.
Oh.
She's holding a book which she has covered. And she bought it and she said, I want Washeke to sign for me. Would you mind, please, as we're doing that? She came and did that. I want to, as she's doing that, the book is 39,900. It's available at the back there. You're able to pick it up as we go. Before Washeke goes, are there any specific questions for her? We're closing out now. So I'm going to give you a chance before she goes. Yes, there's a question here and one there. Now they're all coming at the same. Our gentleman has not spoken, so he's going to speak next. So we're going to do that just now. So if you can just stand your name and the question, please.
Good afternoon.
I'm listening.
My name is Imelda Nanziato, and I want to say I'm really grateful because I think I first saw Centonomy on Flavia's page. And then later on, I saw it on Marungi Muni, and I actually attended one of the entrepreneurship open classes. By then, I had a business, but I closed it. And I think I have a couple questions, but one is... Okay, to Washeke, I'll go first. Since you said that mostly of how you started Centonomy was with non-financial assets, how do you upscale, or how does that look like if you want to upscale while you bring on the experts and turn that into later on into financial assets, if it makes sense?
Okay, and I think for every business, this will be different. I'm not gonna say some businesses don't need money from the get-go, yeah, especially if they're bringing in goods and things like that, yeah. But for Centonomy, and maybe this is going to be relevant to those in the service industry, yes, I started with no capital. Then I got a form of capital. I think when we talk about raising capital in the entrepreneurial class, we'll say your first form of capital is probably going to be from fools, friends, and family. Yes. So I had started. First, I just want to emphasize I had started, even before the foolish money came in. I had started. So nobody, even this person was not going to give me any money if I had not started. So proof of concept was done. And I think many times of us were waiting for money to give us proof of concept. So my foolish capital, the person who was foolish enough to give me a small loan, I think it was equivalent to 2 million Uganda shilling, it was my mother. So that helped me set up some logistical things a bit. You know, a laptop here, hire my first intern, things like that. But as you can see, the capital was very small. It was less than lunch money in a year. Yeah? But from that, I want you to believe when you have doing something you are absolutely convicted about, other people seem to want to support you. So now we needed to go into training. We didn't have a venue, and I didn't have money to rent venues. The first season of Centonomy we did, the place we hired, a place like this said, we believe in what, luckily there was also a new building and they needed business, yeah? You just run this for 2 seasons, then you'll pay us at the end. Let me tell you, that was my form of capital. So sometimes your form of capital comes from, it's technically called supplier credit, but it was also someone saying, I'll take the risk with you. The trainers initially said, it's okay, we want to get paid. Just the same way, imagine these guys, Joshua, Rita, Flavia, they have not come because we are paying them. They have not come because we are paying them, yeah? So it evolved into that. And then it was also just being humble enough to know I can't solve the client's problems all by myself, yeah? You know when I said punch above your weight, I didn't intend to do media ever. Again, I'd never been on TV. But along my contacts at that time, there was someone who was on TV, and she said, come and talk about personal finance. Now, a lot of us, this is what we do when opportunities come. We are like, I can't. You just say no. So I went on TV, and I was like, fine, I'll talk. Yeah? Now I look back and like, Shosheka, you could have at least thought about what you're wearing a bit more, but it's okay. I'll just focus. Yeah? Again, I went. Yeah? And I'm literally telling this is how we grew. Now they were having a problem with their programming that week. So that interview was played like 7 times. And we got 30 people in our first class. Yeah. Now, sorry, I have to say this. The second class had 5 people. Again, it tests the show must go on. But we kept building on that. We kept building on being able to be visible. It was very obvious for us we were doing something so new, we had to give up 20%. Like what we're doing here. By the way, we've only scratched the surface in everything we've told you. We have to give some way, then people will listen and come in. So that's really how Centonomy has started. Then yeah, along the way, as a business, there are forms of capital that come in. Bank loan to put up facilities, overdrafts, and that like that. But our starting point wasn't built on heavy capital, but we relied a lot on networks, suppliers, and getting the right people in at the right time, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Asheke, for answering God's call. You have been a blessing to many of us.
Thank you.
I'm Dennis. I'm a farmer, a supplier, and also I own some restaurant. So back to my question. Looking, I was just overwhelmed. Let me breathe in, breathe out. Okay, my question goes to you concerning systems. Sometimes you build something from scratch, and it grows, and it becomes big, and then bigger than you. Yeah. That point of how to let go, I have two questions. One is on the systems. How to build the systems that runs what you are operating. And then two, how to let go. Because mine has grown with many employees and then you go like, someone may disappear with some cash. so you literally have to be in every place. Yeah. And I have a quarrel with you. Mine is, I followed Centonomy from YouTube, and I thank God for your YouTube. I learned a lot from YouTube. But then there's something which Kimani said, Njugush. He said something that most of the things that you see on YouTube, when you come in actual class, you learn more. So I am here to learn more and to make more friends. And there's something which Waithaka said, that your house in the village is not an asset. Now that is something that we have to discuss.
Country, yeah?
So that's my beef with you. We love to handle.
I will leave that to Edaka. I'm going to answer the letting go in the systems, and even Edaka can probably add on to the systems, because that really, really is what Edaka does. This is my system, by the way. But let me, because the systems actually can't come without the heart of letting go. You won't even see the system because you're still caught up in believing you are the system. And I think it stems from what I use, it is fear. And I don't want to tell you that it is easy to do. It was not easy for me to do, but it was obvious. I think I'd also gotten to a place of being very aware of my capabilities and what are not my capabilities. I was there as the seed bearer, so the systems I put in place were as far as the seed. But again, remember my agenda from the beginning. This business will run without me. So for me, I think you have to be clear you want that. Nobody can force you to want it. But I was clear I wanted that. So everything I did, even before I stepped down as CEO, I used to make sure it can run without me. So everything there's never anything I started so that it can be dependent on me. And us as entrepreneurs, our egos get so boosted. We have to be sometimes, let's whatever. Do you think my ego was boosted? Washeke this, washeke that. It was boosted, yeah? But I was like, actually, this must run without me. So that's the pattern. My purpose for Centonomy is not a lifestyle business. It is a legacy business. In other words, I must be looking down from heaven, and this business is running. If I am still there, how can I now observe it without me and now start seeing what else? So I think for me, that was that. I'm not an operations and execution person. I learned that because can see how many things we dropped along the way because people are waiting for me to execute. My team they used to joke and say, they didn't think I knew the joke, but I knew it. Proposal is where, Washeka's desk is where a proposal comes to die. Because me come to a meeting, I'll pitch my head off. Now the client tells me, go write a proposal. Yeah? It's over. Yeah, it takes so long. So it was a combination of all that. And then I could tell that by trying to run the entire business, who I am as a person, my creativity, my communication, my more strategic thinking was also getting stifled. So I was bigger, what I could do was bigger than the business operation. So I needed to step out so I come back and play that role. Yeah, so remember, letting go does not mean you don't have a place. It means your place is different. And a simple tool that a coach I went through with, by the way, so I didn't do this by myself. We had a coach. She told me, Washeka, what do you want to start doing? What do you want to stop doing? So don't start by saying it has to be CEO, having a CEO tomorrow. Today in your business, I'm sure, while you're asking these questions, there are some things you'd rather not be doing. So systems are about answering what needs to be in place so that what you don't want to do gets done. Sometimes it's just a manual that needs to be there, a policy that needs to be there, or a person that needs to be there. Sometimes a person is sitting right in front of you, but you have not even seen how good that they are. So when I decided that's when I saw how good Waithaka is. And I was like, he's been here all this time. Yeah? And with people, if you don't see how good they are and what their capabilities are, you're also going to lose them. Because everybody was made to fulfill their entire potential. Can they do that with you? Yeah? So but you will have fear. You will have fear of irrelevance. Even when I let go and I'm seeing, what? Waithaka has gone to Nigeria. What? He's in South Africa and you're the one who planted those seeds. What? But then you feel irrelevant. There's a time I walked into the office, people are just passing me projects. It's like I was an intern. I was like, nobody's asking me anything. In fact, I'm there to be informed about the small position I have been given, etc. But as I said, you are never just one person. I started questioning, what can I do? And for me, at my core, I'm a teacher. At my core, I carry message. At my core, my gift is my voice. So how else do I want to use my voice? I want to do podcasts because I still feel, even as much as I've spent so much time on the message of money and business, I still feel God is telling me, Sheke, you've only scratched the surface of what I want you to say. So I need to keep digging deeper and have more conversations so more can be taught and more can be put out in the world, even if it's in different ways. Waithaka, please answer your question.
I think if we go on from here, we are over an hour past our time. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we answered all the questions here, we would still have another 30 hours of material and learning material to go. So here's what we're going to do. I have challenged you to take action when? Have you registered? Okay, 3 of you have registered. Good, the 3 of you will see you in class. The rest, when we're doing season 40 of Uganda, do not come and say, I wish. You take action when? Now. So if you don't mind, we as I said, we didn't pay, but we'd like to give a small gift if you don't mind. Rita, we have a small gift for you. Omboy, if you don't mind just bringing it to Asheke, if you can hand it over to her, just to say thank you. Can we put our hands together? Just yes. It's okay. You can switch that off. Yes, for a second. Yes. Thank you so much. Flavia, we have something small for you as well, please, if you don't mind. After this, if you have any more questions about the I'll also be here if you have any questions. Yeah. So much. We put our hands together for the amazing speakers who've been here for us and speaking with us. I know some of you are asking, I've looked at the brochure and you have not talked about the Centonomy entrepreneur. What is happening there? Here's what it is. Everyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, must manage your money, your own personal money. And we believe that the Centonomy 101 program is where to begin. It's actually what we have now custom made for Uganda. So when you come into the class, no longer are you going to be here Kenya shillings, dollars. No, you will be hearing what? Uganda shillings. You'll be hearing about CIC. You'll be hearing about Sanlam and the investments that are available where? Here, so that you can make choices. You'll be talking about taxes where? Here, not just the principles. So we've done that for the Centonomy 101 program. But if you're interested in the rest of the programs that we run, you're more than welcome to come and talk to us about that. We have a tradition at Centonomy. We believe God has put us in this world to make a difference in people's lives. And in our events, we thank God for that. So if you don't mind, please stand with us as we pray. Those who are online, thank you so much for your participation. We're going to pray together as we close. Shall we pray? God, we are grateful for you are causing a change on this continent of Africa. That, Lord, in this place, we would have wealth. That we would no longer be the continent of lack, no longer be the continent of disease, no longer be the continent that is at the back end, but that, Father, we would take our rightful place as one of those that is building wealth from generation to generation. I pray for the Uganda class that this would be another seed that would grow and grow and grow and change the lives of those who are there. Thank you for all those who've come. Bless each one. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all and welcome to Centonomy Uganda. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless. If you'd like to pay using cash, you can do so at the desk at the back there. Have a look at my dear brother there. Malvin will take your money. We are happy to take all forms of money. Thank you.